over towards 2 and 3, but some really crucial breaks coming through from OUG keep this incredibly interesting. The break there at the end of P4 gives Exclusive the lead.
Wow.
Here for P1 first, and going in towards the second one, Veer has a Predator missile, and that's going to garner a lot of time on P1.
Yeah, Neil's able to earn one as well, so you get the feel out from the Predator UAV. Now you don't know exactly where they are, so you call in another with the Death Machine. Love this patience from Neil. Just call it out for the Death Machine to focus fire. But whoa, they don't actually find really anything with it. OUG get the shutdown, plus they survive on the hard point. Still about a 40-point game, though, as you rotate back over to focus on P2 with 25 seconds remaining. Tempest shuts down the play initially for Exclusive, but they've got numbers trying to make their way across the map.
The Spy is finding a little bit of an avenue, a little bit of a route. Everybody's focused over towards the time. He will get traded by Tectonic, and this is really massive for OUG. Yeah, they are still down, but being able to maintain this side of the map while also getting operators out and other resources could set themselves up for success. But Exclusive constantly fighting the Fed on being down in any sort of deficit. They fight their way back through the old time. They're finding avenues on the south side of the map, and they have resources to pop for this P2.
Not an even battle, though, from the front. Exclusive, do they decide they want to try to touch anything with the operator? No, not going to happen. It's Tectonic to pull the War Machine first, and that will gain a lot of space in front of the hard point. Huge buffer of room to work with now for OUG, and Exclusive need to make a decision on what they want to use. They want to even see this hard point.
There was a lot of respect, and the trophy system was actually used on the northern lane, thinking that that's where the War Machine was going to be focused. Just up through the middle of the map. You got the claw being popped, gravity vortex gun all at the same time. Solo finds 3 with it. Cartel's there for the 4th. Spawns will be secured, and there's so ample time to play.
Yeah, perfect timing on that gravity vortex because Veer is finding a lot of value in those last couple of shells from his War Machine. Sparrow desperately tossed into the mix as Exclusive are really itching for some time here on P2. OUG clawing their way back, coming off the respawn. Exclusive can't get the numbers forward. Solo's been able to lock things down, and now you're down to the last 12 seconds. And if this turns into a convincing kill feed for OUG, you might be able to stretch old to new, but Exclusive are able to kind of hold their ground mid-map, but it does come at the cost of essentially a tie game as you rotate to 3.
Bump them out. The mini-map was suggestive of it. Yeah, bump them out. Look at the spawns coming in all the way across the map for Exclusive. Can OUG catch timing off of this and push their way through the smoke in towards the face of P3? Seems they're a little unaware of it, but not too deterred, I will say that much. But Neil with the Tempest pulls it out. He's able to find himself 3, give him the 4th as well. And it's as clean as a transition as you could possibly ask for Exclusive. OUG were about to be running away with it.
Yeah, that was a confident call for the Tempest to come through, but immediately in response, OUG off their second set of spawns on this break attempt, pop operators of their own. Sparrow able to find some openings on the front doors, and then you get the SMGs, machine pistols, and shotguns in the mix. OUG finding a way in for a time in the front. Death Machine used to try to hold the front line. Tectonic doesn't want to challenge, but is forced out of the play anyways. 151-21, and Salo's done a really good job of making sure Exclusive can come back in off spawn to get back into the hard point.
A Rap spawns in on the or towards the back. He gives away his red dot way too quickly, and everybody from Exclusive turn around, and they completely burn him. Probably a smarter call so that he spawns in the back with his teammates, but a good turnaround from Exclusive from that first set of hard points so they don't fall susceptible towards the spawn trap, and OUG holding that from the front. What a beautiful 40-point lead Exclusive have as they're already tempering their way across the middle of the map.
Hard point about to unlock, and Exclusive are running in a little bit stray. OUG will punish. Tectonic has already got another War Machine out. He just had it 2 hard points ago, and he's going to use that to great success. No other operators ready to go for either team. So this is going to have to be done the old-fashioned way if you're Exclusive. Not a good start there, but an 8 lands. That opens up the hard point. Now the clock's starting to tick away just a touch. OUG still trying to flood, but they don't have the numbers, and Veer has earned himself his War Machine, but gets shut down by the Pred missile. So now you've got Exclusive at about a 35-point lead, but these next operators are coming in favor of Exclusive.
They sure are. You got a lot of mid-map space, but it's all just individualistic, isn't it, from OUG? Just trying to find that one heroic play to work around the back flank is allowing Exclusive to enact their numbers and just really force fire their way through these narrow choke points. What a turn of events for Exclusive. They had the lead at the end of the first set, and it's growing ever more so as OUG are scrambling to find their footing inside of some of this time.
I would say the scramble starts before they even get to the time. It looks like they're just trying to brute force their way through a lot of these break attempts. Again, if you look at just the rotation percentage, it has been heavily in favor of Exclusive. OUG's been the team forced to break really maybe every time except for 2.
Yeah.
So that's going to have to change if they want to try to come back into this game, but you don't expect that that's going to be the case here on P1. Best case scenario would be that you can keep Exclusive from getting the 200-point threshold. But Neil is on his 4th Tempest, I believe, this game. Does get shut down more quickly this time around, and the hard point stays open.
got two operators ready. Solo, he's got that gravity vortex gun. Probably want to save that for P2.
Yeah, for sure.
Claw's going to get ripped in lieu of that to try to maybe work their way in towards P1, and Rap's going to be able to lock down 2 kills. Still stray players like Spy hanging around the joint, needs to be dealt with somehow. And then you also got Veer. He's playing the off angle to see where everybody else is coming from.
Veer's having himself a great game to this point. Does get shut down before he can get to his 40th elimination. But Exclusive get over the 200-point threshold. 15 seconds of scrap here on P1. Exclusive working with numbers to re-clear out the middle of the map. Rap trying to hang on to the corner, has help from Kings and Cartels, but the trades are good for Exclusive. A little bit more time starting to be accrued here as OUG are trying to set up around the back, and they already deal with the early rotator. So now it's just about getting that Gravity Vortex gun up, getting Kings active, seeing what you can find. But Spy, he may have broke the timing! Oh, what a hell of a set of equalizers this is, but shut down by the Sparrow! Kings for 3. Now you've got an opportunity to try to hold this. Veer trying to just litter the back line with the War Machine. That will work for another double, and here comes the next attempt for Exclusive.
Trophy was way too late for Exclusive. The Sparrow finds its way 3. OUG didn't have one off the spawn block. It's in the back now. Trying to keep it contested. There's still so much time to fight over. And if Exclusive hold this plus the spawn trap, they could technically still close it out. OUG aware of it. They have to find the kills, and they have to somehow push forward. It forces Tectonic's War Machine out just to get this back 30.
This has been a very expensive hard point for OUG. Still 25 seconds to fight for, and Neil just runs right into the fray. Straight nade from Veer also connecting on the process of this contest from Exclusive. Numbers now starting to build for the Europeans. Last 10 seconds, and whoa, Caesar is going to pop the Sparrow just to try to zone off the exits and maybe find just a little bit more favorable time, because look at the map. You're already anchoring with Spy deep behind P3, and that's going to be possible win condition for Exclusive as the whole team pops up behind the hill.
Yeah, spawn trap is really strong here on P2. Those spawns are sticky, and like you were saying, the anchoring in the back of P3 just might be the final nail in the coffin. Neil has another Tempest. He has been electric with it all map long, up to kill number 44.
Yeah, he can just lock down this back platform. 241 to 166, and this has just not been convincing enough for OUG. Wow, stay stunned for a moment. OUG able to at least get into contest, but the numbers for Exclusive continue to come by way of Spy locking down the front door. Rotation, rotation, rotation. Exclusive put on a masterclass and take away map number 1.
And really loud, we have seen this story before on that exact same side of the stage, but remain composed here, guys, because that is a statement within its own self going in towards the hard point, setting the pace, and then being able to re-break off of being really pushed against the wall. I would say that much. Like you were saying, the rotations were never truly there in the second set, that they, as Exclusive, were forced to break just about every single hard point, and they just about did. Being able to fight back against the resource disadvantage in the first set brought them back into a resource advantage going in towards P2, thus getting them a lot of time. And by the point where you were about 70 points too far gone, you were calling for OUG to get that last bit of desperation to maybe turn that P2 into something absolutely magical. Tectonic with the War Machine couldn't convert enough space forward, and even like Caesar with that last second Sparrow, that was just a beautiful call.
Yeah, and just kind of reflecting back to when I've seen OUG in this map before, that felt really passive in terms of how they were playing the map. Very reactionary. Maybe that's the better word for it.
I like that.
It's just like you see like these plays, especially behind P2, where OUG are getting spawn control, but they're not putting anyone forward on the map. They're not having anyone watch the cross into P4. And instead you're saying, all right, once we know where they're coming from, we'll hit them with a Gravity Vortex, we'll hit them with Sparrows, which is not a faulty strategy. It just doesn't feel like their normal identity, and Exclusive were able to punish that.
Yeah, a little bit too fundamental, I would say. You know, not being able to find the explosivity for these individualistic plays is what they have been able to get away with on a handful of times when it comes down to hardpoint, especially in CDM for the Chinese region. But like still, when you're not finding success, when your backs are against the wall, at this moment in time, hitting isolated route after isolated route, get a buddy system going or something.
Yeah.
Like, try to play for a couple trades, get a couple resources out, get your nades on point as well, and then just try to overwhelm them with numbers. That's exactly what Exclusive did going into the second set.
It just never felt like if you were to put a heat map over the middle of the map, besides when P1 is active, it just felt like Exclusive just had so much free space to work with in that particular area, whether that's them zoning P3 away from OUG by, again, trusting that Neil can use a Tempest towards platform side. You can keep a shotgun and an SMG focus on the front doors. Like, you trust that setup every day of the week and twice on Sundays. But it's just like, I don't know, it did feel a little bit more restrained from OUG.
Yeah.
I mean, even if there was a moment in that replay package where I believe it was Cartels who was like by P4 side as P2 was open, and he's starting to realize his teammates are falling behind him, and instead of trying to pinch from mid to cut back into the front doors, he's backing up.
Yep.
So it just kind of felt like their full focus was spawn control, spawn control, spawn control, and that ends up losing rotations because you're stuck in that same spawn when there's only 10 seconds left in the hill.
Could be a miscommunication is why Combine is so difficult to be able to find where a lot of the numbers are actually going to be located at to be overwhelming and any sort of pinch. It could happen at a moment's notice. But if you said it, man, Veer had himself a great map. 49 kills for the kid. Yeah, he's looking to do quite well for himself. Having a fun time with the 1+15, as I'm hearing all players typically are. Shout out those guys. But that's a good moment for Exclusive. Again, being able to win that map 1 versus OUG against players in you've never really taken any series off of. I think that's the momentum that you need after losing a devastating map 5 earlier today.
Correct.
Versus UMD.
Yeah. So now we got to change our focus over a bit. Exclusive continue to show us some really good stuff on Hardpoint overall. But we go into the Coastal Search, which is a immediate run back from what Exclusive played in map 5 versus on Mythic Dream. And they were really struggling to win the middle of the map, find success with the snipers, I think especially from the defensive side, which, of course, they're starting on here. So how do you decide to play it? And look at this, Exclusive to just throw a little bit of an extra hit through A, but yeah, you've already got Raph inside the site, and that is a free B site.
Let's go ahead and bring it right back to what we were talking about during that map 5. It's just the no hesitation, stun Nate forward, getting towards the B bomb site and get that rock planted.
Now Veer's able to find one in response. We go 4v3. Still a tough retake to be sure, especially as every single one of these entryways, these points of ingress, are being challenged by spam. Veer would have wanted that one back. Good to get the reload off, but he's lost his window for a free pick. So now you got to do it the hard way. Nice shot there, takes down Kings, but Cartels able to get one before being traded. Spy has found some motion forward, but yeah, Raph with a shotgun inside the site, not going to give that up as he will convert for the first round.
Oh, you know he's going to be eating well as the HSO player here on Coastal. We typically see them on a high-scoring route, but you know, the one thing, I don't know if OUG were actually sitting there watching that 5. I imagine that they were. Those flanks from Shisui really did come to fight them in the rear just to bring the scope out ever so slightly. So we'll have to see if any adjustments come through for Exclusive. They're expecting maybe another aggressive B hit, but this time it's going over towards A.
Yeah, right through the cut and right on into the site. Spy, a little bit of space here. Neil rotates over. That's a beautiful response from Exclusive, reading the nades over the top. Veer also assists from that little mid-pinch, leaving Solo by his namesake, by himself. Whoa. And he has got some shotsy movement right there, but doesn't make a difference. Too many numbers to deal with. An Exclusive put together a quick response.
And that's exactly why, kids, you got to have a trophy system if you're trying to make that aggressive push. That nade from that B rotation is pretty devastating. Left about 2 players one shot, and pretty easy to clean things up afterwards. So a swift response from Exclusive. OUG going to dip their toes back in towards the A side of the map, but this time instead of going underneath, they're only setting 2. The majority should be hitting the outskirts, but they do have the opportunity to pump fake it.
Yeah, just feeling things out with nades this round. Nothing seen initially. Neil, late off this, and yeah, you know there's no trophy. As the nades will fade, the stun connects, and then you pick apart on the pinch. Really well done. Great execution here from OUG for a 5v3 post plan.
And that's exactly why you feel things out with the nades, to your point there. And you were able to set up the pinch from the 2 players coming through the stairs. The nades will land over the top. It's going to leave Tech half HP, but nobody's in a position to try to deal with this. The 3v5 of the retake is mostly going to come from down low.
I like the idea of trying to flood this, though. And yeah, I could hear Tech from behind me. They're all there. So they know. And it's just playing with shoulders, set up your crossfires, and put him into a choke point blender. And that's exactly what occurs. Clean.
Yep. Just being able to play their corners, play the information trade. It's search and destroy 101 at the end of the day here, Alan. Being able to get those info from the nades, like you said, get that stun off into the backside of the boxes where Neil was isolated. Take one big boomstick out of the way, get the bomb planted, and you know exactly where those last 2 nades are coming from. It all has to come from mid. So 2-1 lead. OUG gonna go straight up the gullet here.
Yeah, and Veer's in some major trouble.
Oh my.
Eventually gets taken out by a stray nade, but the defenders on the A are realizing, actually both sets of defenders are like, we don't know where they're going. This is just not fun. This is not good.
Yep.
And OUG just bull rush middle and have themselves another very convincing post plan at A.
2v5.
Bomb has been planted.
Caesar and Sawu not looking likely at all.
No.
And again, like OUG, like being able to see that round, I'll dissect it here in a moment, but here comes Sal, which gives us the opportunity. Stun will land, but the kill will not. Kings will clean up the last two, but that is the definitive sole point that they absolutely watched that coastal map number 5. They know where a lot of these players in their they were taking notes, annotating the entire thing, overwhelming Veer over the middle of the map, and then just quick hitting underneath. Like you said, defenders never had a Scooby where they were.
Yeah. That's also just kind of a staple from what we've seen in CDM. It's like set nades to deter sniper setups. It's been kind of the staple in the region.
Yep.
And even though OUG have not shown great presence in Surge across their region, they are at least aware of how that plays. Solo, as a little bit too long for the shotty. Kings follows up, though, with 2. Makes this a little bit more manageable. So technically give him a 1v3. He's down to 2 more remaining. No bomb in hand, and Neil is right there to make sure there's no exit.
See, I was about to say, like, the bomb's actually in a location for him to pick it up and actually fully exit. There was a lot of time left on the clock, but just wanted to press the issue around the back. Will give Exclusive their second. Just unable to lock down all the players inside of the winery bomb site. The big difference maker comparatively to that round 1 execute that OUG did find. So bomb's going to lurk over towards the fountain. It's going to be a late peek in the middle of the map. Exclusive want nothing to do with it. They're throwing nades underneath and over by the A lane. But the bomb's late towards this push.
This might just be, this might be just a blind show of force, seeing if you can take your 2v1 on the outside of the site, but it doesn't fully work out. Good response, though, from Tech. Keeps this more manageable. Solo actually catches Caesar completely off guard. So the numbers advantage is no longer there. This was a 2v4, if I'm not mistaken. So now you've got Neil by himself, and the bomb with a free rotation to B will set up a post plant.
Yep. You know Neil's last alive. Haven't seen him. But you dealt with the 2B defenders that you typically see over here, so, yep, get the bomb planted. Neil, gonna look for the wallbang spot, potentially, to be able to find the entry. But this would have to be a highlight moment with the Tundra.
Sure would. Tech not gonna give him a chance to see anything. Neil will reveal his position. Still has a nade to work with.
That's helpful.
It's a good spot. Tries ISO, but Solo's right there to make sure his teammate stays safe. 4-2 half. OUG. Pretty solid lead, tell you what. Tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
Haven't seen that in a while.
Cool. But, yeah, I think that OUG coming in towards this one, being the more aggressive team, being able to recognize all of that and quickly dissect the defense of Exclusive. And this put Exclusive in a really tough bind here. As immediate rush to the middle of the map. They want that B-bomb side.
Yeah, that was Solo saying, we're going to give away mid, but I'm just going to play this cut and with a shotgun hopefully win that out. But now that the awareness is there as far as where Exclusive has gone to, you can rush us down mid, but trying to follow that immediately with momentum into B is not easy, tell you that much. Kings having a little bit of trouble until the last 2 shots. Center and lock, and OUG are up 5-2.
Nice little snap there for the second. Now 2 rounds away from tying up this best of 5. Tech is making some play calls. You know, he's going to try to adjust for whatever could potentially come their way. Exclusive really loved the B execute on offense when they were playing up against UMD. But they're way more passive this time around, mostly because they need to go get the buck.
Oh, what a push down. Solo, I don't know where that smoke came from, but OUG give him some frequency to play forward, and Neil will respond. A little overstep there from Solo. So we'll go 4v4, but a lot of the map had been taken away by OUG. We'll recall some clearance from Exclusive, and they've got nades set up for B, but there's no trophy here, so Raph is just playing at a distance where he can still blow away anyone who comes through that front door.
They're not taking that bait either. The nade's not connecting, like you said, no trophy system, but playing in a 1-for-1 position regardless. 4v4, you got mid-map covered, at least from an off angle being held there by Kings, and space being taken away by Tech off of this angle.
Bold, dude. This is a moment where Tech is just saying, I know I can hang this spot. Doesn't work out this time. And now you've got full nades to burst onto B. There is a trophy system here to keep the defenders safe, and that's enough for Cartels to at least get one. Quick transition here from Kings. Secondary nade from Raph lands. And now you can kind of back off and play this a little bit more slowly, but Neil's quick scope beats the shotgun of Raph, leaving Kings into 1v2.
With a Type 6-3 no less, and they should be more than aware where this potentially could be coming from. The only other timing would be on the backside of the site. He just might catch good timing the stun, but still finds the kill 1v1.
Sawo still holding the heady. Oh! Are we joking? That is filthy. He had no business with that one.
Ain't
Two
no
tap to
business.
the forehead.
Oh my gosh. That was dirty. Oh, any sort of momentum exclusive might have started to feel immediately snuffed out if the 4-2 half wasn't anything. That is a dagger. 1v2. Full stun found the first kill, by the way. Now up to map point for OUG. For exclusive, gonna try to throw the wrench. They're gonna back over towards A. They found success with this in their last best of 5.
Oh, but look at the difference here for Tech. Tosses an early nade and then rotates back through tunnel, watched by Neil. Easy peasy, no problems. Now you got to get the defense back into the site, if you at all can. And honestly, you may not be able to. You got to wait for some counter nades to come through. This is going to be a very quick 5v4 post plan.
Yeah, sure is. Player number 2, though, it is Kings. Very quickly on that flank here, Alan. Might be able to take one down 4-3, and yeah,
What?
going to be able to find one. Here comes the pinch on the other side.
What? That's too easy. And now they've cleared out outer sidewalk. Everything has to be on the interior of the site. Little slide across. Does not bait the shot for Veer. Raph is waiting to get contact from his teammate, and then he's going to be the first one in. He will be punished. Follow-up from Veer is good. Neil is still holding an angle. Cartel's in some trouble, but is able to deal with the first. Has the last in the corner! And a 1v2 for Cartels to get OUG back to level terms after a 7-2.
Oh, I just spilled my water.
Woo! Kings 1v2, and then we got another one to end the map. Wow. OUG really putting to rest a lot of the S&D woes, coming away from the strongest S&D region. Keep in mind, you almost feels like a hyperbolic time chamber for these fellas coming in towards this event. Lost the Search and Destroy versus Elevate, though we expect that to be a very difficult matchup for them. But wow, that offense, I'm going to have to go back and have a real fun time fully dissecting that one, just how quickly they were able to take the map away. Solo was constantly getting activated even on the offense and the defense through the middle of the map. Like you said, like that smoke that continuously comes through as deep as it was or as short as it can be, always activated Solo to cut down so many different avenues for exclusive to fight their way back. And then when it came down to these clutch moments, we didn't see these guys do this for way too long, man. Like it's just one of those things that I'm not fully surprised, but it is crazy to see that exclusive threw away so many 2v4s.
Yes. I still think generally, though, like what we saw from OUG, and I know that the statistics and the feelings after watching them come short in CDM where they didn't win a single search map, has us all looking at maps 2 and 5 of like, all right, what do you got? But holy cow.
Yep.
Kings with that with that fat 1v2. Yeah. I mean, he peeled that heady like it was no problem. Yep. I'll tell you, that was not an easy gunfight, and he finishes double positive to get OUG back into the series.
Yeah, when we say the word head glitch, we mean like barely the top of the operator's cap was sticking over that half wall. And with the Type 6-3, as powerful as it is, the 2-shot, not easy to land, but man, Kings absolutely locking in and layering down the shots keeps this really, really interesting going forward. Tied up one apiece going in towards the raid control. And this is where things are going to get a little bit more questionable for exclusive. Some would argue, myself specifically, that probably should have gone towards round 5 off of the gambit that they threw away all the operators at the end of that round number 4 for exclusive. It's an immediate turnaround going up against a team that we have seen, even in the first 2 maps, are ready to set pace.
Yeah. Just gotta have it, right? I mean,
Plainly put,
it's just like our ability to kind of scout out and figure out how deep the pool for the EU, NA, and LATAM regions is just so much more limited than what we see from teams in India and China and even Diabolos from Japan because of their participation in CDM. It's just the numbers are in a spot to where you can actually use them as a narrative builder. But when you look at a team that has only have 4 matches that were on broadcast, so you only can really reflect on those 4. Exclusive played raid in every single one of the controls.
Correct.
First series today, raid in the control. So it's just like they're sticking to their guns, man. I will say this too. We talked about this a little bit. Maybe I'm jumping the gun here a touch. Teams that are like the advantage are always picking Team A. I'm so surprised by that.
Yeah, me too.
It is the complete opposite in the CDL because if you were Team B, you essentially get to pick between the 2 remaining maps of what do you want to play for control. That's so much more of an advantage in my mind than playing the 1-3, the 1 and the 5 off your your side.
Being able to have the guaranteed map 5,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's certainly interesting, but I mean, that guarantees the Apocalypse map 4, and if there's anything that we know for certainty when it comes to OUG, golly, do they love that map mode combination.
Yeah, for sure, bud.
Raid control, though, takeoff Crossfire being taken away, went round 5 versus Elevate in the opening series of the entire escapade of this tournament. And honestly, from that round 5, could have came down to a couple of different Annihilator shots potentially, but we even saw OUG kind of bite off more than they can chew. The overextensions, random operator pulls in that series kind of came back to bite them in the rear ever so slightly.
Yeah, indeed. Trying to get updates in terms of what's happening on the other broadcasts here, just to kind of keep you guys in the loop. Taking a quick peek and a gander. Amigos took the first map of Hacienda over Animus, so the other European team in some trouble right now in terms of how they started off their elimination series. Gallerus has cleaned up Diabolos, so they will move on. Diabolos will unfortunately be eliminated. That is the end of the C group right there.
Darn.
That was a tough one, man. I mean, like, it's just like we put a team that finished 4th last year in the mix with Q9, who just did Q9 things. Like, that's tough scenes. But here's the interesting story. TLE, your #1 seed from North America, who lost their opening matchup to technically the 4th seed in their group, that's Street Gaming. They lost the opening hardpoint and are in a tie game right now on the Kurohana Metropolis. The Metropolis.
Kurohana City map.
The Kurohana downtown. Yeah. Metropolis. The Metropolitan Metropolis.
This is the first time that I've actually been seeing this on the screen again. The other 3 streams have been absolutely roaring on, but yeah, shout out Street Gaming. Came out of absolutely nowhere to be able to win that best of 5 series. The only map that they lost in that best of 5, Alan, was the raid control. And you know, going throughout the Kurohana was not in that best of 5 series, but you could tell very, very close affair here so far into round 12. And Saucy is able to find himself too, and a nice little bunch of cleanup down for the 2v2. Able to take any advantage on the Kurohana Metropolis, I guess would be feeling quite dandy for yourself. But Group D is an interesting one because we talked about Bear coming into it. This is the first time that we've been able to see them in the representation on an international stage, and they get eliminated by TLE in a 3-0 fashion.
Pause. Saucy 1v2 situation. No, misses the first shot. So that'll be 7-6. Got to win by 2 if you're just joining us. I know at least one person who's joining us may not be fully familiar with the rules of Search and Destroy in COD Mobile compared to CDL. You know who you are.
Defend the objectives.
It's not me. I watched it before and you pointed to me.
I don't know. I like you're like...
Here's me reaffirming the rules of the game to myself.
Yeah. I wake up every single morning just staring into the mirror and just make sure I remember the rule book. It's a big moment now for Street Gaming. Take a 2-0 lead here in this series.
Brother, I don't think anyone... I mean, I'll be honest. I think we're all looking at Group D like this is the snowball group for sure. But for Street Gaming, who had no expectations largely coming into this tournament...
Sure.
You got Bob Zera on your team. That guy's got some experience, brother.
Yep.
Tell you what.
Yeah, that guy's got the gunny.
Yeah, he does. He really does, though. Like, legitimately, like, when we were back in the old school one-tap meta, when, like, Lucasson really popped off, the SKS meta, that was like, dude, Bob Zera's got it, too. Like, don't sleep on that boy.
Yeah, it's just tough, like, when you're talking about it, like, from South America perspective, just all together. Like, when it comes down to single-tap gunnies, you know who we talking about, man.
Hey, we know
you know who we talking about.
We in there.
Raid control, about to get underway. Big spring map mode combination between these two. Again, not a good look for exclusive, losing 1-3-1 Mythic Dream, as it is the only control map that they played in playoffs in their region. Comparatively to OUG, they played Crossfire earlier. It went round 5. They lost it. But a big momentum swing here to be able to see what they can convert on their opening offense for OUG.
Yeah, and for OUG, just to, again, get you caught up, Respawn is how they beat the top Chinese teams in CDM.
Yes.
It wasn't just hardpoint. They also did a really nice job in control as well. In particular against teams like, for instance, Godlike. That was a big one for them. Even splitting the difference with teams like Wolves and also finding advantages versus teams like X-Rock, who are solid. Here we go. On to the B point with an extension here for OUG through A. How about this position for Tectonic?
The interesting off angle is going to at least have an opportunity to go for one, but doesn't like the timing behind it. Are they aware that he's even over here?
They should, because of where he's spawning. I mean, he's forcing the exclusive spawns back Laundry, so...
He's going to hop A because of it.
And now you've got to... Look at this. I love this. This crossfire setup from cutout and that back basketball position means that if you're exclusive, you have to play through Kitchen. Veer does catch a nice double. Solo in some trouble, has to back away, but it's the war on two fronts right now. OUG really stretching exclusive's defense, but they're hanging.
A big 4-kill start out of Veer. Again, he had himself a whale of map number 1 back on Combine. Dropped 49 eliminations on OUG's forehead. Third segment being worked on over by B. Should be getting depleted here. The segment over at A was locked, but there's no more space to be provided. Now just sub 60 seconds, and we're back to square one trying to fight for map position.
You got plenty of time, though. And really, well, I'll say really good reads. Cartels does at least pick up, and wow, nice shots topside ring. That'll get the action once again, playing on both sides of the map at the same time. And OUG are starting to build a bit of a life lead behind these plays. Cartels overwhelmed, too many to deal with, and that's one of those moments that OUG is going to look back on and be like, you know, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, really shame on me. We should have made a decision to get together sooner, and now they're going to make their play onto the A point.
Should have space back basketball court, but that smoke is going to keep it concealed to maybe try to get in or out from that position from either of the two teams. But regardless, the A zone's going to get hot. Second segment's locked. Caesar's going to give away his life. Who had an opportunity to play for a couple spawn traps, but 5v7, OUG in the driver's seat.
Yeah, that's a mistake right there from exclusive positionally. You got a couple of the players who are playing through art, but you push too far around towards that little waterfall, and OUG don't just stay alive in pool, they also get a spawner in Solo to get over towards the B point. That's your extra 60 seconds, and now you focus on A, which is pretty much already gone. Not to mention the life's just got a little bit too out of hand, but that's a mistake from exclusive. If you're going to chalk or try to play around the pinch, you have to commit through mid, not through the offensive spawn.
Or just hope that the rest of your teammates are able to find those eliminations being down in lives, and then you just play for the Zen trap. But even then, hindsight do be 2020. It's an offensive round conversion in the first, which means that Tech will have that War Machine. Veer was able to combine it on the other side and was able to walk away with the first blood of the round.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
This is an opinion question.
Okay.
You think that you shouldn't be able to pull operators out until like 10 seconds have passed in the round?
No. I think that there should be a little bit of a delay coming into it.
Because like Tech just literally spawn farmed with that War Machine.
Well, that's exactly what you're saying, and that's why we put so much emphasis on the War Machine, because like you barely even get in towards the fray, that you just have to get the hard read with a trophy here at Zig or over by Ring, and just have to hope for the best at that point. But get the first segment over at B. Clean kill feeds coming through in back and forth. So the life deficit isn't too far gone here, Alan. And now exclusive can spawn parallel over towards A and take a stop.
That's a juggle that I think exclusive will take that trade every day. I mean, flat out, you've got all the operators spent for OUG. You're still hanging on to 4, and you're only down 2 lives with success with that first tick at B, and a really solid setup around A. Solo with the Death Machine, starting to fade away, but just wants to charge on forward, gives himself cover of smoke to work with. Follow-up, though, from exclusive is good. They clear the zone and continue to find success, getting the second tick of progress.
Sawu now has the DM out himself. Gonna combine that with Neil and the Tempest. Was electric with it in that map number 1, but they're spread all the way across the map. Has to find value with it to break inside a basketball court, and yeah, you're just not getting through this. All the wall bangs soon after. Third segment looking good to get locked in here.
Yeah, OUG will chalk on this, but keep an eye on the minimap. The Zen trap trying to be influenced again. Exclusive able to deal with it, and now they've got a bit of a pinch surrounding of their own. Just comes down to if Spy can open up space and focus from the front. Deals with the first, does not expect players to come from behind him, though. So the trades lead to OUG still in the life lead by 1. Minute 35 on the clock, and it's a scatter fest. A lot of individual 1v1s about to come through, and OUG have won all of them to this point.
Yep. The individualistic warfare looking good for OUG, at least in this map number 3, but there's still so much time left to fight over, and the 4-life deficit doesn't feel like it's really impactful until that play comes out from Art. Now no respawns remaining for exclusive. Backs truly against the wall.
Yeah. And OUG have really shown us their ability to convert and be efficient. Even without operators, just knowing how to use your spots on the map.
Spatial awareness out of OUG in this raid control is amazing.
Yes. Little crossfire setup at Art. Solo's got a trophy system as he tries to play on an island behind Laundry. And the defender on site of Kings is the player you want to be in the pivot position to watch pillars and be able to help on either side as it comes through. Solo says SOS. Please someone help me. No Rihanna shoutouts for free here, but Solo's got an opportunity to set up a bit of a pitch. Can't find all 3. And this is, you know, an opportunity here. Exclusive with numbers. If they could stack, they could do some damage to possibly cap here.
Yeah, but nobody was going to expect that timing coming through from Raph through the mid pillars. He's able to find himself at least 2 on this life. Leaves the last 2 players, a Spy and Neil, alive against the full-fledged force of OUG and their 6 respawns. We'll work on that second segment, but I like to imagine OUG will not allow them to lock it in. A 2-0 lead in this raid control with a hefty amount of segments to boot.
Exclusive has to win mid-map here in the break-off.
Yes.
They have to have it. Especially considering how OUG played their first offense where they're hitting either zone no matter what they spawn closest to. You have to win mid-map. And there we go again. Veer, or Machine out, able to find one. Tech trying to respond by contesting mid. Trophy system to keep him safe, but does get spammed out. Exclusive, do what's asked of them. Find their opening break-off win through mid. Now it's just down to can they clear the player up top at Art, and yes they will. OUG now forced to play down towards A.
That's really good information from Veer and his War Machine being able to at least find the 1 kill over by
Oh no!
Nope. Doesn't mean that you're going to get home scot-free here. Big 3 kills come through for OUG, just completely catching Exclusive off guard. They don't have any basketball control. They might not need it. Spy's the only one here. Nades come over the top, but they just completely get out of it. I mean, like, a couple kills do come through, but the first segment might as well be good enough to then repivot over towards B.
Yeah, Raph, claw out, bouncing it through kitchen. Mercy. 4 in a row for Raph. Now trying to play off the spawns, but a little bit of trouble manipulating through the cutout window, and Cartels will drop at kitchen. This first tick at A is the only thing that's been accrued as OUG continue to not commit to playing into kitchen and onto the point. That looks like they're just trying to keep the clock stalled. A bit puzzling.
It is.
But they're going to get the respawn down towards bedroom and work their way back over to try to finish this zone.
They know that they did clean up that last round with lives, and even if Exclusive do win this defensively, could actually put themselves in a position to maybe a round 5 defense. But we got to get there first. Second segment locked over at A. 45 seconds remain, and finally we'll be coming through. Annihilator out for Kings. Nobody's watching top bed, and it's Neil. He's right up top there with the Tempest on the back side, able to work the pinch. Can they stop the zone capture?
Yeah, Neil's been really good with the Tempest.
Really has been.
Really, really good. So now we're tied 11-11. Make a wish. As we have the break-off happening once again. Under 30 to play. OUG still spreading the map here. Just straight fodder coming out of the death machine saying, don't peek me, please. Cartels on towards B. Still trying to take fights through mid. And this hasn't been as clean as we've seen from OUG in the past. That now they need to make a desperate play, and they're going to go to the scaling deep play of Raph, who's already through laundry to see if they can finish B.
DM's going to be pulled here now. And maybe try to help their way get over towards one of these 2 zones. A lot of mid-map control. You got 1 player over by B, just trying to bait them out into the backside of laundry. But they don't have that space being provided for them. Raph, he's got his USS-9. He's already inside a kitchen. No respawns remaining for Exclusive, though OUG only have 1.
Yeah, and if you're Exclusive, it doesn't matter about the lives. It's just about defending the zone. 3v5 situation. Extra 60 seconds going to be confirmed with that capture on B. The last 3 defenders have to play kind of in and around the site. Spy already has the Annihilator out. No one giving him a peek, though. Good patience from OUG. First shot lands for Spy. Can't get the second as the window player is able to shut that down. And it's just down to Neil, and he's found 1, 2, but nothing more. OUG 3-0, the control.
A big objective time now for OUG, flipping the S&D map to, and then the raid control. 3-0 nonetheless. And again, this is the bread and butter for Exclusive when it comes down towards their control play. They don't really like playing too many other control maps, but still, this now puts OUG firmly in the driver's seat. Explosivity, their individual prowess as well, everything that they did not find success with in that Combine map number 1 surely came through in that raid control. Exclusive had a handful of moments where they could potentially try to close out a couple of rounds and get themselves a lot more space to be provided forward, but it just felt like the way that we are seeing OUG manipulate the map, it's just always together. The nades to set themselves going forward until that 3rd round. That was probably the weirdest one.
Yeah, it's still like, and I don't know, we'll have some time to chat. Tech has no idea either, apparently, as he's just giving us the shrugs. He's praising the War Machine gods, something of the nature.
For real.
But there is a question, I think, just about like what is the mentality surrounding that mid-rounding on the offense for OUG, where we're putting members off spawn to just go wherever they're closest to. I would figure and that their idea is if we show force on both zones, it gives us an opportunity to group together at mid with numbers.
And then pivot.
Yeah, then wherever you find success, like that last round, like, kitchen, Wrath gets behind Laundry.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's probably the idea behind it, but it definitely felt like Exclusive were maybe getting a handle or winning the 1v1s they needed to make that less convincing.
Yeah.
We'll have to go back and relook.
I mean, it felt like a little bit of like anxiety riddled. Like it was like, okay, well, let's play to see if anybody overextends, and then we'll make the decision. Okay, well, now we just need to make a move forward, and we'll just get down over towards A zone. 21-12 for Veer is the only player that went positive for Exclusive. The Kings 22-16 led the way for his team. 8-11 out of tech. What happened, man?
I was just about that'd be why he was emoting towards us for a second there, just like I'm just laying it up for my teammates. I don't really know what that was, but
No, all right.
yeah,
88 impact, by the way.
88 impact probably. I still don't really know how the math of that
I don't know.
figure.
I'm not a
works.
scientist or a mathematician.
No mathematics scientists.
No.
These parts,
No.
brothers.
I can talk about dogs and cats, though. I got you covered there.
Yeah, that's more sciencey than I got.
Biology.
Yeah, I ain't got that.
OUG looking pretty primed to close this thing out in 4.
Unless Hardpoint's been solid for Exclusive, man. I got to eat my own words here.
Yeah, but
I will say
it's OUG's map pick, though, and this even
and it is APOC. Yeah,
when a lot of these players were still playing in North America and when they were still playing on the international stage against other teams of higher caliber, they were still taking Apocalypse off of a lot of different teams. And the way that we're seeing like Kings flip and being able to turn disadvantages into 2 pieces out of thin air, that could be the difference in between breaking P2, let alone holding it.
you know what's been interesting this tournament so far?
Tell me.
This is across all 4 streams.
It's first APOC, isn't it?
I don't think this is the first APOC. It might be actually,
Oh, who cares?
but we have seen pretty much nothing but Combine, Hacienda, and Slums. We've seen I don't think any Summit, which is so odd because Summit was like the map.
Yeah.
The last.
It was
2
the gun
years.
runner.
Yeah, the gun runner is crazy. Oh man, blessings if you played 2019 Modern Warfare. Holy, here we go, APOC. Down low, through the smoke we go. Exclusive first couple eliminations, but OUG are looking for an early map flip, and they've got it.
Nice, W comms. All
Dude,
right.
just like run through the balconies. All right,
Yeah.
cool. Sick.
And then deal with like the map's position soon afterwards. Spies trying to rectify this opening mishap, but comes up ever so short. But you know, this is the play now for OUG. Look, like you wanted to play for the spawns. Now you gotta have to reap the benefits that Exclusive are gonna garner a lot of time here on 1.
And look, if you're out there and you want to lock in to see how good this Exclusive team is, lean a little bit forward into your monitor here and really keep an extra eye on the mini-map, because this map by far the largest hardpoint map we have in the pool, and it's all about understanding spawn manipulation and how things flip, how you block, how you lock, and what you spend numbers on. OUG better at the macro game here than what we saw in Combine. They will have a rotation win by the look of it to P2. Can't say that with certainty yet because Exclusive are finding some wins from the front, but the spawns will stabilize, OUG will neutralize. But I'll tell you what, if you're Exclusive, you don't get the P2 spawns, but you get 45 on P1, you're happy about that.
Opening hardpoint, by the way. And now OUG, again, this was their gambit. Like, play for the P2 spawns, and now you kind of have to answer with a full 60. The first wave of gunfights will be good. One player slips the net, it will be Neil. He's one shot and now taken care of, but still off of the space being provided forward. Now Exclusive are just going to funnel numbers forward.
Yeah, with the numbers advantage, they can keep trying to jump the wall, make their way through cave by way of the smoke, and they're finding the wins that they need to. So contest from the front. This has been great from Exclusive. OUG can no longer worry about the overextension. You got to get into the hard point, my guys, and Raph will make sure of that until Neil gets 2 with a nade, leaving Kings essentially by himself to finesse against the last couple members of Exclusive, which he's not able to win, and Exclusive continue to stay in the tie.
Yeah, holding from the front here on P2 is no easy feat, and well, they're able to do that plus a little bit of extra. With all the excess score that they were able to get off of P1 themselves, look at all the operators that did not need to be pulled because the gunnies were keeping them well and truly contesting P2, and now they have just about a full slate going into P3.
And these are good nades to the middle of the map to make sure the rotators through P2 cannot find free long-range angles, but Tectonic or Machine Out will win the day initially over towards barrels. Claw to follow. Great stun on top of that to isolate this play.
Oh my god.
And Raph is on one.
Yep.
Holy cow.
I play her to
Not
watch.
done yet. Not done yet. Get out of his way. Now he's got the AR up. This could be trouble. Pardon me, USS-9 in his hand, which may as well be an AR in previous modes.
Yeah.
And
Last
he's
year
able to turn that into some great success to get OUG back in the game.
Hey, my player to watch, man. AORAP is up to 15 eliminations now. Kings has the Sparrow on this rotation. You do end up having the 100-killer drone moving their way forward. Pred missile as well from that previous spree. Raph getting a lot of good information, but Veer now has the War Machine. Getting them space forward. Equalizers are out now for Spy.
Really well done by Spy. Finds a route, takes advantage of it, and Exclusive re-break the hard point to grow back to about 40 points as we rotate over to Ruins. OUG trying to lock things down on the left side of the minimap. Predator Missile being called in by Kings to try to lock down this rotation. They will find one to slow down Exclusive on the overextension, forcing them to have to try to play from the front.
Still think about that 45 points off of P1 right now?
Yeah.
I'm still looking at it as well as we go over towards the Stonehead P number 4. This is the final hard point in our rotation. If you're new to Call of Duty Mobile, we do not go over towards P5. But Chicken Coop, Chicken Coop, Chicken Coop. It's such a powerful position. Cartels is playing in it. He's able to find himself 2 with the Tempest. Solo for the 3rd, and that should be the break fully forward.
Yeah, should be good for it. You also have, keep an eye number 5. Raph is watching the rotation through Coop, so everyone else can just keep their focus forward. And OUG are ripping it apart. Still 28 seconds to fight for. Sawo has found himself somehow behind enemy lines, but does get dealt with. Watch the pinch. Spawn flip coming through. OUG is aware of this. Do they find the kills in time? Yes, they do, at least initially. Last effort here with the final 14 seconds. Spam coming through the smoke. But Exclusive have reinforced from Cave side, and they're going to get a pretty significant amount of scrap time here.
Yeah, back 5 seconds should be secured here for Exclusive. Now we're just back literally for square one. OUG on the useless building side of the map, Exclusive on the P2 side of the map. You take away those 45 seconds, even if you split it in between the 2 teams like it should have been for OUG, this would be a dead tie game, but it just isn't. Another good wave of gunfights do come through for OUG, but can they convert that into time? They flip out the spawns at the very least, but they're not giving up time here on P1 this time.
Kings waiting for his moment to hit the pinch from top TV. Works out great, trying to find members to the smoke. That will not connect. Follow up from Solo, good as he finds the final 2. Meanwhile, all throughout this, OUG, nice little passing of the baton of who's locking down the P2 side of the map, and they will continue to win from the front. So, again, rotation, the name of the game. OUG still winning on that macro battle. Just comes down to can they stop Exclusive from finding the same kind of value they did last time we were here from the front.
Good space being held in the middle of the map. You have the ruined spawns being anchored, map control. They're starting to push a little bit further forward underneath the down chopper. That can get a little bit scary as far as the spawns are concerned, but still holding it down towards the time. Getting things back towards an even slate before P2 even pops. Much different.
Cartel's not able to find the early exiter of this P1 time from Exclusive. Kings also falling from the front. A little bit of panic maybe starting to instill in this OUG setup, but from the middle, that is enough clearance to get the respawners up, keep the focus to the front, toss your nades, pop your war machine, and stop Exclusive from making their way through Cave. No entry whatsoever when those explosive operators come into play.
Trophy system was immediately taken down. The trophy system on the opposite side for OUG was placed right in front of the temple where the war machine was maybe trying to find a little bit of an entrance, but it gets shut down instantaneously. OUG, 121 points and counting on up. It should get past that threshold, especially with Cartels pulling out the Tempest.
Yeah, and a Pred Missile just to make sure that they have the information that no one's playing from the bottom side of the map. Cartels now trying to zone a little bit extra forward, but oversteps is welcome. Trophy system to keep King safe on the heady. Shut down, though. Exclusive, do you see an opportunity to jump on in? They're going to pop the Sparrow. Bold call, but Caesar's able to connect for 1. Second does come through on top of that, but it's not enough to actually get much time here, so I'll let you at home decide if that was worthwhile or not.
It wasn't.
Oh.
Hey, it might have been. Hey, they could turn the tides, potentially, but they're still trailing by 22 now. 150 to 128. Death Machine's going to be pulled here for Exclusive on the rotation. It's a very powerful one to be able to get all the way through these paper mache buildings, potentially, but it's not connecting. But it still sets up the rest of Exclusive for success to be able to find the wave of gunfights required to hold the initial time.
And the timing is perfect as Sawo catches one of the mantle from the heli. And then you've got Neil once more just ripping it apart with the Tempest.
The real problem, actually.
He's really, I think, on this mainstream, been top 2 Tempest players, which is top 2 out of 4. I made that sound way sexier than it was. It's still good.
Yeah.
He's still doing really well.
Still batting 500. We good. Kings able to find 2 there off of the re-entry, but Exclusive still have a tight hold around the backside of these spawns, and OUG going to be spawning all the way to the backside of Ruins. You're hoping for a player to move forward and find value. Would be Solo to try to do so here with the Death Machine, but they're just continuously running away. They know exactly where he could potentially be located at, and by the time he works his way all the way through the long magazine, it's only going to turn it into about like 10 seconds. We'll flip the lead, but still Exclusive setup at 4
Yeah,
first.
we're getting 40-20s right now. It kind of feels like in favor of OUG since that little folly in P1 to P2 and our first opening hills. Veer trying to connect with the War Machine. Doesn't find much. But OUG, like you mentioned, do not have the benefit of the close spawn. Sparrow dominating this cross in through K, but nades over the top shut that down. Now you got a Sparrow on the other side. Wrath could potentially go into an op of his own, but is not needed. Kings has found 2, and now he's got the tappy way of the Type 63. Tech also getting the left hook involved as exclusive. Are able to reinforce quickly thanks to those spawns, and they have convincingly re-wiped the floor. What a re-break from exclusive, and there's still 23 seconds to fight.
Big wake-up moment there from Sawo. He's leading his team right now in eliminations. Gets kill number 30. War Machine now out for Tectonic up the kill number 37. There's no trophy system to stop it. Direct impact into Sawo's forehead, and that's 3 now for Tech. Still 10 seconds to fight over here at the bottom of the second set. And exclusive are holding strong.
You need to understand win condition right now if you're exclusive. You're at 206 to 171. You win on P2.
Yes, you do.
You just have to hold this side of the map.
So they haven't been able to do all map.
Haven't even had time to even look at Temple this part of the map. Nice moment there from Veer. Slows down OUG from stretching across the map. These next wave of gunfights, super important for exclusive. Nice crossing angle for Neil, who has, guess what? Another Tempest shut down this time. OUG with numbers, trying to work their way across P1 to the other side of the map, but they're shut down, and now you've got the War Machine, Death Machine, all the machines in play for exclusive to try to put this one out of reach.
Yeah, Death Machine, their top maps, is just going to absolutely rip everybody to smithereens, and should be the immediate information that you need. Still, enough time for exclusive to close things out on P1. One player of Kings spawns all in the backside of the Temple. He's not there alone, but you gotta stop this time from being earned.
Oh no! And they lose spawns for a moment. Exclusive, correct their mistake though. Quickly get the spawns back. Neil's Tempest gets re-earned off of the early elimination before he could really pull it out, but only finds one with it this time. Sawa from the top ropes, almost able to get a double. 4 seconds remain. OUG holding for now. The setup for exclusive is trying to call game. Is this victory formation? Can they take a knee on P2 and put this to a map 5?
The first time that they're able to sit here for the rotation. They got so much time on the first set from the front, but look at the spawns being Tech, Wrath able to find 2. Neil still towards the back. Exclusive still hold the spawns.
Wrath is trying to hang on towards front side Temple. Not going to work out. Spy. Whoa, shut down by Cartels. War Machine for Veer. You need the last 5 seconds to come through. OUG can only hit from the front. Caesar gets a couple with the Sparrow. Cartels was still kicking for a time, but he cannot stay alive, and exclusive continue to be flawless at hardpoint.
Oh, Veer stands up. That's a demonic look I saw come out of his eye. There were a lot of white in his eyes right there. 250 to 185 is a statement, completely and utterly nullifying that 45-second fumble from OUG at the beginning of the map. They gave away 45 free seconds to play for spawns, and they didn't even walk away with the majority of the time on P2 either. By that point, when you make such a fundamental mistake, and you're still able to keep it as competitive as it was, you really do feel like that OUG was that one big mistake away from potentially closing it out in 4. But that's not going to be the case at all here, Alan. It's going to a map number 5. As we're going through a lot of these replays, there were so many heroic moments from so many different individual players. Operator usage was fantastic as far as the warfare was concerned in between the two teams, being able to answer tit for tat. But I gotta say, man, that Tempest being in play constantly was a boon of success for exclusive.
Absolutely. You know, the other side, now that we've gotten 2 maps between these two teams on hardpoint, we kind of threw out like that little insinuation that OUG were playing maybe too macro focused on Combine. Again, big map, you could afford to do that largely when it comes to Apocalypse. But where my mind is wanting to pull me to are all of the teams that we've seen across either COD Mobile history or CDL history or Challengers history that play for spawn control, Money Hill control. Sometimes the team that just gets in the hard point and can just be mixy. You're like your Bostons who just like jump on the hard point and say, come fight us. We don't care about spawns.
Look, it's a respawn game mode, but like you still have to play around the objective. Go figure to make it as black and white as possible that you can find all the space being provided forward. But when you lose the returning 3 gunfights, just because you have the spawns does not mean that you're going to secure any semblance of majority time. Sawu had himself a fantastic performance. He's been really quiet all day long. 37, dead even. Nobody went positive.
No, exactly. It's what I'm trying to say. Look at the time.
Yeah.
we said the exact same things when we saw exclusive play earlier versus on Mythic, where it's just like on Mythic had one player trying to soak time, whereas exclusive's like, I'm closest to the hard point, I'll get on it.
A Solo being a route man, trying to always push over by a broken down chopper.
And with Raph.
Maps, yeah, Raph was that guy inside a chicken coop, like I was talking about. Same for Cartels, was playing a lot of different off angles, but it just never felt like we had a guaranteed moment to sit down, play the time.
You know who did that really well last year?
Tell me.
Elevate.
Oh, what happened to them?
They won the World Championship.
Of course.
They swept the World Championship.
They did. What was that Grand Fonts versus Q9 though? Hardpoint then wasn't exactly their strong suit.
Yeah. But still, like...
Yeah, but still. It's the entire idea of just like, you know, fundamentally the game mode. You literally spawn into a ranked game and it's just like, oh, hardpoint. Get to 250 points. You win the map. Like,
correct.
Just, it seems so simplistic, and yet it can be so... I don't know what the right phrasing would be, but it just feels like that it's such an easy mistake to make at the highest level for it to get away from you. And now we're going in towards a map 5, a standoff, and I mean this is where the Wild Wild West truly does come out to play, because there's not a whole lot of tape, I will say that much, for exclusive when it comes down towards this map. But I like Sawu on it. I have seen him, especially on Animus, play on standoff in the previous stage, and if he's able to feel the hot hand coming away from that previous map, Alan, he could get active.
Yeah, this was not a regular playground for OUG and CDM either. They played it a bit in stage 1, but didn't touch it much afterwards. They did beat Wolves on this map in stage 3, but
it's a pretty big deal.
Wolves was, I would say, like, in terms of how search went throughout CDM, like, as good as Wolves is, that was not the mode that they won CDM on. They won it on their respawns. I mean, Q9 was the search gods from CDM, so.
You're always such a lovely guy, always having a good time, keeping the vibes and the spirits up. Look, this is not at least in playoffs regionally, that exclusive have played. But it is a map mode combination that has been in the game for ever. So you feel like that this should be playing right into their wheelhouse, right? They love double sniper. And like when Chris was back up here and we were breaking down the best of 5 maps, if this goes to this map 5, with Neil hitting the shots that he's hitting, we also saw some insane quick scopes as well from him in that map number 2, and the 7-2 loss nonetheless. I think that standoff is not going to get as zany as Coastal could possibly be. The rush down that OUG were trying to play, not always going to garner the same success when it comes down to standoff.
Agreed.
Thanks.
It's just wild though, like, and I know it's early in this tournament, but it does kind of feel, by watching really outside the one map that Elevate dropped here on this A stream, seeing exclusive be perfect in hardpoint so far. Like, people are not playing patiently off of the one taps, the shotguns. They're running. Like, they're running and trying to just beat you by playing through the hill. And that was as simple as it got last year when we watched Elevate. How did they beat teams? They played Hacienda, they ran actual ARs, and they beat people to hills. Exclusive so far has done a nice job of either winning rotation or very quickly being able to contest when they don't have rotation. So
that P2 hold from the front was legendary.
Absolutely legendary. Legend, wait for it. Dairy.
Missed times. Search and Destroy standoff, the final destination here for one of these two teams. Remember, loser of this goes home. OUG, the team that didn't even think they were going to be here until, what, about 5 days ago. Going up against exclusive as the #1 seed from Europe. Felt like they had playoff berth within their grasp. Are fighting for their lives.
See what we get, as OUG will be on the offensive half first. Holding off any A hits and trying to play through Brown. Whoa, got a little bit. Solo's able to win out too. Will be traded back. We'll get to the early 3v2 numbers now in favor convincingly for exclusive, as Tech is by himself. Should have a freebie there. And we'll have tons of time to play the 1v2 up from here.
XM4 in play here for Tech, instead of the usual Odin or Type 63, so he has a little bit more like versatility with the weapon, of course, but completely played like a fiddle here. With the map being flipped now, Caesar, Veer, getting closer towards Bakery.
Tech does have the bomb to work with, though. And wow, if he can get Grandma control, this would be massive for him being able to kind of pick and choose what he wants to do, knowing that he's going up against Veer and Caesar.
He has a range deficit, though, especially with Veer being in play.
But he's got options. So you're telling me there's a chance?
I'm telling you there's a chance. We got options, boys. We got
What was all that 1 in a million talk?
Still so much time left. 45 seconds, and he's going to slow clear Grandma's. But look at the back-to-back that we got going right now.
Yeah, they're just going to wait for the plant and just play 2v1.
Absolutely. But if he gets his bomb planted at B and he could play timing for the backside of Hostile.
Correct. Or you could play Cafe too, honestly.
Yeah.
With the jump up, it just keeps you away from Veer completely.
We got options.
So many options. And that is a great position
Bomb has been
to
planted.
plant for everything. Does he get a read on where exclusive comes from, though?
Oh, that's a weird...
Well?
Be trying to play the 1-for-1. They don't give him that opportunity, but the play's coming around the back. Tak has to hard read this.
No. He's in a good spot for now.
So smart.
Does he get a sound cue? Oh, does he get the second? No, not quite. Caesar right there. Not the tool for the job, unfortunately, for Tech and exclusive. Take the opener.
Needed some Shisui levels of trigger discipline, right?
Yeah.
Potentially, but putting himself in the best position when we talk about it and fully break down in Search and Destroy, when the bomb is playing in such a situation, like for Tech, like he put himself in a one tradable position, like immediately inside of that corner. But that's what we were talking, like the timing inside of Hostile, not enough time to clear all the way to the back. Completely understand why the hairs on his neck were probably standing up to only play around Deli. Play what she cleared. First round for exclusive.
Frag out.
Trophy down on the broken wall corner for OUG. And yeah, you could see the focus for both teams is all about what's happening in Brown. Spy up top on the balcony, good for the opener. Smoke to block the cross, and yeah, really good read here from OUG adaptation-wise. If you're going to send 3 players to focus on Cafe or over towards Brown, we're just going to run to A, plant.
Artels is playing a delayed flank potentially, or just the crossover by statue. The majority of this retake, I would feel, has to either take a route or it's just going to have to be straight up the gut. This is not an easy one to try to re-break if you're exclusive.
Yeah, Tech's just playing contact from the barrel. Kings is doing the same thing underneath the truck. Oh, but hey, how are you? New haircut, huh? Caesar's able to find one more, and exclusive have broken down this post plant like a wet paper towel.
Yeah, my bad. Did I say it wasn't an easy one to break? I meant it was systematically simple. My bad. But like, I just to be able to find Tech over peak, I guess he probably did not assume that angle was not going to be covered. But for Veer to be able to get in that position, to be able to get that elimination, just immediately sent for the snowball. You saw like all the arrows in the mini-map try to turn for that trade where Veer was located at, and then just the collapse soon after. A 2-0 lead here for exclusive.
And this is the right adjustment from OUG. Keep someone interested at mid, but don't get first blood at Brown. You just cannot have it. So they're going to instead take the ground given to them by playing front side at A. Trophy system, allowing the bomb to get planted safely. How do you set up the post plant? A lot of it's actually focused on mid in particular. So if you're OUG, you better hope that the VPMs and VMPs and the X4s are able to find some kills. And it only gets a couple of trades. Pinstripe kill feed. Exclusive moving with some tempo. Trouble for Kings. Needs to keep his life. Not able to. Pinch from Solo finds one. Needs to get more than that, though. Not the case. Now back over to one. That's going to be down to what Raph can do. And a 1v2 comes through to get OUG on the board.
Oh, a lot of heroics. That smoke to try to get Solo over towards the B-bomb side with HSO. If they try to retake that, it would have played right into their hands. Gave away a lot of audio that he was trying to retake into the backside of Cube. Still somehow walking away with that elimination, but the hairs on their tinny chin for OUG to finally get themselves on the board, and now they're hitting the hard pivot. They're leaving Kings to lurk over by the hay bales while the rest, they're trying to execute on the backside of Delhi.
Different look here for OUG, trying to stretch out this exclusive defense, which, as we've mentioned, loves to play through mid. Different look here, though, as Neil is going to jump a little bit further up into the mix with the scope. Trying to watch the 1-for-1 corner. Gets the opener and now has a chance to reset. Did he see the peek underneath the doorway? We're looking right at him because he's in yellow. But I don't know if Neil saw that.
No. That'd be the tiniest of pixels here. But still. You feel like that anything could happen, especially with the isolated play like Tectonic. He's still vibing over by the A bomb site. He's just going to plant the bomb. All of exclusive thought it was still play over towards this side of the map. Not the case. 2v4.
Tough rotation from Grandma's house. And Raph, yep, we'll see both of it. Veer the first one to drop. Tech no problem over the bomb head. He gets us level at 2.
Yep. Ready up.
Big shouts there for Tech. Again, he was the secondary player to try to get over towards the hay bales, and once he got the nade over towards the top side of Tractor, I mean, the bomb was just lurking past the statue side, and all the rest of the focus for OUG was going to the backside of the gas station. So really caused considerable doubt for Exclusive. Ties things up into round number 5 as we get a lot of nades going over to the top side of statue. Exclusive want this space. OUG recognize it, and they back down.
Again, the adjustments, love them. And I think it's just the order of operations of how they've done it. If you're having issues at mid, give them some space. Put pressure on the outsides of the map, then go back to mid.
Yep.
Working out well for them. OUG continue to put together the absolute right reads. Caesar trying to hang, but here comes the full flood from OUG. And now they've got to lead 3-2 up.
It's not over yet. Ready up.
Adjustments, adaptations, always on top for OUG. Again, they're coming away from the hyperbolic time chamber that is the strongest search and destroy region on the planet. Now it comes down to Exclusive to try to make some alterations towards some of these nades and try to react a little bit cleaner. Look at how much space immediately comes from Solo. He's all the way to the backside of the gas station, pulls 2 members away, and still goes 1 for 1.
Yeah, 1 for 1's fine. Oh, even more so that Kings finds another elimination through mid. Trades are fine, but the bomb does get planted. Nade, very slowly moving.
No, right?
Is it just like rolling on the ground?
That's what it looked like.
Or it was like one of those big old loopy lappy labes that comes over the top.
That's a phrase.
Indeed. Scope up now for Neil, trying to re-clear Tractor. Raf close. And they will know that the sniper is watching the angle here.
Not enough time.
Being held. You got to make a move.
Are we saving for next, or like?
I don't know.
Yeah, so here comes the push over by Cube, and it's just a moments too late. That you really were hoping for that route to come through to the backside of Bakery a whole lot sooner. Salwu almost able to walk away with a 3-piece there at the end, but wouldn't have enough time for the defuse regardless. But you were hoping for maybe that flank play to come back on the backside of Bakery to try to clear away the hay bales.
You got to throw some attention, right?
If you don't have any late util whatsoever, like you become the util, and you have to catch timing somewhere somehow. So 4-2 half for OUG, firmly in the driver's seat.
Yeah, that is one of those like, okay, we're watching the sniper, but like we need to pull focus.
Yes.
Now Veer, as they swap the sides, will connect onto Raf. First blood as the smoke did not really cover the cross. And Neil's going to follow up with another one to hit. So early 3v5 opportunity for Exclusive to get this thing back to within 1.
And Tech is still lurking with the XM4 super close. They're trying to hit a rewrap over towards Bakery for Exclusive. But OUG are just struggling to try to find where a lot of these players are still lurking at post plant.
Caesar's able to find the freebie. And this post plant breakdown is hard stretch to even see the bomb site. You do catch info on 1 towards Tractor, but the problem is the player on the backside of boxes or not. Do we find a way to pull this if your cartel's 1v2? Not a lot of time, and the shot for Sawo connects. Exclusive back to within 1.
That was a post plan we didn't really see coming through from OUG's offense, getting the HSO inside of the cube. We saw a lot of that with the Fennec last year. But the HSO shotgun being in that clutch situation, being able to pay for the post plant, keeps things within 1. There was so much space that was immediately taken away over by A, but Exclusive are getting in towards the playbook. It's a fast execute into B.
Or at least at the front doors of B.
Yeah.
OUG have some defenders that can watch this. The long cross in particular from cartels. And then, of course, the 2 defenders most nearby at Cafe. Trophy systems are still in play for the defense as well. So those are other obstacles that Exclusive need to find a way to hurdle.
Attack playing on the backside here on this head glitch off the top side oven. And you also got Kings. He's watching inside of Deli for the execute to come through over by B. Any late util to try to unearth these players around a Deli is the only answer to getting towards this side island.
Yeah, and the defenders at Fridge are still holding this position on top of that. But the threat is well and truly established for Exclusive.
Yes.
And OUG, you're in the setup that it's, you know, you've made your bed, and now you've just got to kind of lie in it and see what you can find a way to hold while executes are surely going to happen here in a moment.
Now just sub 60 seconds. They're going to try to late dip over towards A. All 10 players are still left alive inside the lobby. The difference is, look at the space that Tech now has taken away. He's on the backside of the hostel as the execute's coming over towards A. That should be the alarm bell for him to try to work that pinch.
Yeah. And yeah, you even see on the minimap, Kings is throwing shoulders through that front Cafe Deli position. Aware of it is Solo. The pinch from Tech But exclusive, yeah, fighting back just a touch. Blast member at mid. And there's not much space for Spy to work with here. He's trying to red dot chase Tech, but he is out of there.
He just his full sprint, hit the same exact route. Spy last alive, 1v3, Hope and a Frere put to rest. Now just 2 rounds away, ROUG from eliminating Europe's #1 team here in groups.
Defend the objective.
What do you call here if you're exclusive? You found success with the scope for First Blood through mid. I think you need to trust that as your pivot point. And they will set up one on statue, full nade flood towards the cube and at the back barrels of A. So quick post plant. And OUG have voluntarily given this away. So this is what they essentially had designed for. How do you retake?
The nades just a little bit too late, starting to catch them on the exit, but this is the same round 1 offense that they want. Get the HSO of Sawu in a power position.
Look at the smoke. It blocks this 3-man hit through Brown right now if you're OUG.
And resmoke.
Caesar will drop. Stuns now starting to land as Kings has gotten clearance from the front. That's that split focus, but exclusive, and put themselves in good corners and deal with all of it simultaneously.
Nervy. Real nervy. Those late smokes, that's what I was wondering about. There was nothing thrown early as far as smoke grenades to watch that mid-cross, but if they go back towards their opening round of offense, does exclusive to be able to quick hit over towards A, get Sawu with the shotgun in towards Cube, and then pay for the post. So now they're going to try to play for a little bit of a bait play. It's a PKM spam coming through from Sawu, so no shotgun in his hands. Just seeing how many defenders or tags he can pull away. And a lot of the defense for OUG are actually over at A this time.
Cartels has to stay alive here. He drops, this whole defense falls apart because everyone has to rotate away. And not only does he stay alive for a moment, he finds a First Blood. That does have to pull one player back. That's going to be King. So he's going to play Grandma's, try to keep Deli safe. Tectonic is extremely vulnerable here, but does have at least a wall behind him to kind of set his Alamo.
No. Nobody in a position to try to play for that trade. You can see that's exactly what Kings is trying to rectify. Maybe get himself in the backside of Deli. He's just going to play this head glitch on the turned over oven. So, what do you do now if you're exclusive? Do you try to hard hit your win in the backside of Deli? That stun's actually going to reveal Tectonic. You need to act on that.
That's insane. So now you've got B pretty much open with certain considerations. That back cafe position's a tough one. How does King
I don't know.
Get that one? And look at Solo, you dirty dog.
Late smoke to get himself inside. No, he's actually not inside L. He's playing outside of it. He would have a range disadvantage if he was peeked from that angle, but not going to be the case.
He just needs to watch for the cross.
Getting active.
Oh, he whiffs. And Neil connects in the same breath. And it's all down to Kings. And it's just, this is such a tough position from Gas to try to play a 1v3.
Well, you don't have the shotgun to worry about. Sawu already showed his hand with the PKM, but still 1v3, pick a corner, any corner. You already got grandma control coming through from Neil, so you know it's not on the flank. But he has time to work this, and they're all isolating themselves.
Ninja? No, too many
audio cues. Chill.
That would have been sick.
That would have been nasty. But still, exclusive fighting, bringing themselves back from the 4-2 deficit, now tied up into round 11.
Defend the objective.
Again, first to 7, win by 2 here for Call of Duty Mobile. An exclusive really enjoying these A executes. It was late last time. This time it's back towards the fast.
Different look. Early defensive smoke and numbers through bottom. Brown takes care of Neil. Exclusive find themselves on the A site with enough freedom to plant. And now OUG trying to tap away as they try to break this post plant. And honestly, exclusive are a little bottlenecked here at A.
Got a couple span shots coming through there from Kings on the opposite.
Had to hit one.
Setting up a pinch. And yeah, Solo's going to be able to take down one. That's numbers now for the retake.
And you can see Caesar is not comfortable in this position. I love this call, though, from exclusive. Take your numbers, force out the player, and take the ball. This Kings is aware of it. It says, not so fast. I know I need to keep my life. I'm going to put myself on a heady. Good luck. Have fun. Advantage over to OUG for series point.
I mean, we remember what that young man did on Coastal. That man is ripping heads. His centering, sublime. Series point for OUG. Exclusive. Made it this far as the #1 European team. Is this where the story ends?
Heavy nade play for exclusive towards front Brown, but OUG are not here this time. Late trophy is going to be placed to keep the defense very safe in and around A. Double stack over towards the backside of B as well with a stun check into front P1 where Rap takes the info and runs with it. 2-for-1 exchange. Numbers advantage OUG.
Bomb pancake here just on the inside of the courtyard. King's getting active, gives away his life, 3v3.
Too active. You've got numbers in all of the trophies you could possibly want to set up your post plant.
Yeah.
Got the bomb.
So we get a 3v3. Who is going to step up? Veer and Neil still on scopes. Tech quickly rotating as if he maybe saw something. Oh, this is some dirty timing, but Cartels doesn't actually connect for the full kill, and now he's on an island. Does Exclusive choose to isolate, or do they take their numbers to a site?
You know, at least one is trapped inside of the hostel. I don't think that they're aware that Veer's still playing over by the hay bales, trying to play for that timing on the outside of the tractor, and Neil misses the shot. 2v3.
And that's the moment of indecision. You know Cartels is separated from the team. Do you 3v1 him, or do you 3v2 the defenders towards A? They get stuck in no man's land. 38 in the clock. Bomb in hand for Sawo. Decision time as he's really trying to be comfortable in and around front side B, but OUG are comfy just letting them play this crossfire.
Veer has to watch inside of Delhi. He has to now watch the Grandma's crossbow. The bomb gets planted. They both clear it together, 2v2.
Oh, Tech almost missed an opportunity, but not going to make a difference. 2 rounds in a row. OUG survive a map 5 affair and have a chance to go have what was an interregional battle with Unmythic Dream.
Yep.
But what a showing from Exclusive.
Amazing effort for Exclusive. What a hard-fought year. Again, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Finally won their region going in towards an international event, but history, unfortunately, doomed to repeat itself as Exclusive will not make it out of groups. It was a valiant effort versus a team that honestly didn't know they were going to be here until a couple days ago. They come in off of a last-second notice, they get to work immediately, and they get the job done to at least get one more best of 5.
Just under $8,000 for our loser as they exit the tournament. But you will see OUG powering on for at least one more fight. That will be against Unreal Mythic Dream for our final match of the night. But as we take a look back at this Game 5 highlights, what a series, boys. We went the distance again here in Group A, and this may have been the best game yet. What do you think about the search on Standoff? One of my favorite maps of all time.
Chris, you asked me the player to watch out for, and it was Raph there at the end. Yes. He was getting overly active at certain points in time, but especially in the Apocalypse hardpoint, although they lost it, that's where we really got to see him come to life. And the Standoff Search and Destroy, a lot of his utility to be able to play off of his teammates to put them in even better power positions.
I want to give a big shout out to Tectonic for the final round. He was spotted by Veer's sniper rifle. He read it perfectly, the relocation. Then Cartels on the back end. Alad, you called it. You either got to deal with it or you got to power forward knowing he is not in position. They got stuck. Do you need stronger IGL or what went down in that scenario?
It's hard to say that because you go a couple of rounds prior where Exclusive also realized that, hey, the 3 of us are stuck on A. We need to decide, are we going to sit here and play against the flank or are we going to push through tank? They try to push through tank, it doesn't work. Maybe that lingers in your mind that we tried to play a 3-on-1 and it didn't work, so we're not going to do that versus Cartels. We're going to trust that Neil can hit a shot. It definitely felt a little bit too passive and they get punished for it. So it's a tough call. I mean, you're in the moment of a map 5 do or die situation and it doesn't go your way.
Here's a look at the numbers. We said Tectonic does not go negative. That story stays true for all 5 games here. Kings with a phenomenal performance, dropping 10 of his own, and Cartels with the final 2 kills is going to seal the deal for OUG to survive another round. We send it to the stage with Ian Chambers and our winners.
Thank you very much, Puck. Of course, EU's Exclusive are now out of the tournament. OUG live to fight another series, and I'm standing by with the OG himself, Tech. That was one hell of a fight.
Oh, yeah. You don't got to tell me nothing about that, dude. That was long.
It was long.
And we got one more to go.
Do you feel like you've got it? Because it was only literally a matter of days ago that you even knew that you were going to be here. This must have felt like a crazy ride to this moment.
It's definitely insane to think about. We've probably been practicing about 2 weeks as a team. we had about a month and a half off of just us not playing together, you know, people playing here and there. I was coaching Godlike before coming here, you know, it's like I wasn't playing at all. So to be here on this stage again and thinking about this might be the last one after 6 years, it's a great feeling.
You've been a professional player since you were, what, 14 years old? Is that right?
Oh, whoa.
Is that right? No, not pro. You know what I'm saying.
Oh.
You've been playing for a while.
Yeah, I've been around the block.
You've been around the block for a very long time. I'm in trouble. And listen, you know exactly what it takes to be on a big stage like this, world champion. How much do you think your teammates are going to be relying on you going into this series?
I don't think they rely on me too much. You know, they all are very intelligent, and without them, you know, it's like we're not OUG. So as long as they trust each other and trust me, I'll trust them. It's as simple as that.
Just finally, up next, UMD. Have you got them, and why?
I think we got them. I think Exclusive was one of the better hardpoint teams, and they kind of, you know, they were working UMD for the most part. I think we have to clean that up a little bit going into this. S&D, they probably have an advantage over us, so we want to try and win these respawns.
All right. Best of luck, man. Good luck, and go and prepare. Back to you on the desk, Puck.
Thank you very much there, Lord Chambers, as we take a look at OUG, our winners here as they advance to the elimination match, a final fight to find out whether or not they will make it into the bracket. But this is not the only group that has been active. We've had 4 streams since the start of the day at 8:30 a.m. Let's take a look at who's been eliminated and who's moving forward. We had Proper and I hold shift with an excellent cast. Gentlemen, we take a look here as now we have just one more fight left in Group A, one more fight left in Group B. Galaris and Q9 moving through, Street Gaming and STE powering through. Any surprises on this list?
I would probably say the biggest jump off the page would be that Street Gaming. I don't think that anybody knew or expected that opening best of 5 versus TLE was going to go the way that they did, but they were super prepared, and it showed in all 3 of the map modes.
TLE, North America's Hope, gone. Do we now have the new North American Hope in OUG? I was looking at the roster. We got 3 Americans, a Canadian, and a Cambodian. Are they the new team to cheer for if I'm just waking up in the USA?
Correct. Absolutely the case. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to be bashful of claiming OUG as the North American team based on their roster. But huge surprise, man. Street Gaming with Pabzera able to not just once beat that TLE squad, but twice. Doing it in 3-0 fashions, I believe, both times as well. That was a huge surprise. Stalwart's going to come out as the #1 seed from that group, so they're setting themselves up for success as we move through this bracket as well.
It's an all-Western Hemisphere battle when we return. Don't go anywhere. Unreal Mythic taking the stage when we come back.
So good, it can't stop. That rhythm on top is moving my feet as soon as it drops. So you can try to fight it, but that music don't stop. Taking it one step at a time. I might be wrong, but don't think twice. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. It's not about the money, not the time. Heavy is the price you pay. You know you had it coming all your life. Everybody knows your name. Taking it one step at a time. I might be wrong, but don't think twice. It's an illusion. It's an illusion.
Welcome back. It's the 2025 Call of Duty Mobile World Championship. We are here in the group stages, and it's time to find out who is powering into the bracket, who is going home, as we send home half the competition on our first day of action. Here is a look, though, of what has happened in Group A. If you're looking for a clean win, Elevate Puck was the only squad to do so. Everything else has been a Game 4, and most recently, Game 5s involving OUG and Unmythic Dream. So what can we expect here as we see those are the two teams remaining to fight things out? We welcome in Chris Tunn and Brody to break down all of the action. Tunn, I want to start with you. Okay. Elevate Puck, reigning champions. We're the clear favorite in this group. But who did you have before the tournament came out to advance from this group?
I would have thought them in OUG, to be honest with you. I think Exclusive were always going to have a shout, and we see that from their game. I think for Exclusive, losing to Unmythic Dream, that will be the massive disappointment. I think going out to OUG is no necessarily massive disappointment, and it's not too much of a surprise, but it would have been been OUG, and they still will be favorites, I would say, to come out with this one.
Infinity, I feel like you've been growing up with these men. I see your beard in full force tonight. What do I need to know about this squad? Because Kings has set the vibe. Since I entered this venue, he has been nothing but smiles. But tell me about this team. What should the fans in America know about this squad?
I mean, OUG, this is a team full of fan favorites, right from American Call of Duty Mobile over the course of the years, of course. Most recently, they did go out and perform in China. And I think that's the big thing for them, right? You know, they didn't want to settle for what was happening in North America, where North American Codm, obviously sliding down from, at one point, being world champions to, all the way down to, what was it, top 8 last year. I don't think they were very happy. So they went out to China to improve, and that's exactly what they've done. And I think, just the resilience of this roster to make those improvements and to become a tour de force, I think has been really, really interesting. I want to give a lot of love, I think, specifically to Raph as a player that I think has such high energy, and the way that he played in CDM, when he plays extremely well, he is a force to be reckoned with. We haven't seen that today, though, I will say. I think just on an individual level, if he goes off, I think it's going to cause some problems for him.
Raph was the man who sealed the deal. He got the first 2 picks, and every time I see him on screen, he's getting multis. He never goes 1 for 1. He's always a 2 for 1 kind of guy when he finds success. On the other side, Unmythic Dream, representing Mexico, has had some phenomenal spots in their tournament. They've also had some low points. How do they get back to the top of their game? Who is the player to watch this time around?
It has to be Shisu. I mean, we've seen consistently throughout today, he has been popping off. I think that those S&Ds specifically, when they were going up against Exclusive, the guy was just finding rounds on his own. He really is going to be that guy. You look at Puertas as well. I think he's been quite consistent throughout this tournament too. You're looking at those two if they want to find a chance against OUG.
Puertas was taking some incredible routes, trying to get those cutoffs in the hard points. If you're looking at Search and Destroy, I'd say that's OUG's strength. Hard point was not the case. Is Unreal Mythic, is their strength S&D as well? Control or hardpoint? What's their best mode?
I mean, it's kind of difficult, right? Because they haven't won a single hardpoint thus far, but I think that's been way of who they've faced in the competition, right? Yeah. I mean, you've played literally 2 of the best hardpoint. To be fair, I think we were saying earlier, right? This group is just the hardpoint group. You have OUG and Elevate, 2 renowned teams in hardpoint and Exclusive who seem to put a lot of work in hardpoint before the tournament. So I think from Mythic Dream, we haven't really seen what their hardpoint is actually like because they've just played really good hardpoint teams. I think their best chance of this series is probably the Search and Destroy, though, and I think that's because their Search and Destroy, as we saw earlier versus Exclusive, it's actually pretty good the way they play as a team. Their timings are really good, but also on the flip side of that, OUG's Search and Destroy is definitely the weakest of the 3 modes for sure. So for me, I'm Mythic Dream. If they want to weigh into this series, it's got to be the S&Ds.
Ton, if you're looking at this squad, is there an IGL to listen to? Is there someone we need to crank up when the Spanish gets loud?
I think Envy, the guy's been around for a very long time. He's the one that's going to be leading them, and I think I kind of agree with Brody on the S&D front from them. That's where they've got to push them. I mean, you heard Tech say it. He said that S&D is where they might have us to a certain degree, so these guys will be wanting to just force that map number 5. Steal one of those respawns away. They've got a very good chance of walking away with the series, and Envy will be at the forefront of that.
If you are just joining us, welcome to Call of Duty Mobile's World Championship for 2025. We started with 16 teams. At the end of the night, we'll be down to 8. There's only room for one of these squads, and I have a feeling we're going to another Game 4. Do we have another Game 5 in the cards, though, Infinity?
Oh, man, that's so difficult because it would require them taking a respawn away from OUG. I say that like OUG are definitively going to win this series, by the way, which anything is possible, especially considering how competitive OUG were versus Exclusive in the last series. But yeah, I mean, it does feel like you're going to have to take away one of the hard points. And for all we've been saying, OUG are a phenomenal hardpoint team. We saw what they were like versus Exclusive. They're not infallible. So yeah, it does feel like maybe the S&D, the hardpoint, we could get a Game 5, but I pretty am staunchly saying this is going to be done in 4.
And Ton, we look at this Unmythic Dream squad, this is 2 teams that were combined into a super roster, right? So this is not your familiar 5, but they are all on the same page when it comes to our bans and protects. Let's get into the map vetoes and find out where we are going for the best of 5. It looks like your hard points will be on Hacienda and Apocalypse. If you watch the start of the day, OUG handed Elevate a loss on Hacienda hardpoint. Do they keep it rolling? As I think they're the favorites, at least for map 1.
And as well, we've seen that on Mythic Dream. Have actually went twice on Hacienda and lost it 2 times. So I think that's another one that, I mean, straight away for OUG, you're looking at that. You're happy to get a hold of it. Apocalypse, another great map for OUG as well, Brody.
Yeah, that's the key thing for me, is that Apocalypse was a big one in CDM for OUG. It was basically their one mode. It was the number 1 mode for them. They really never lost it. And to see both that and Hacienda in this series, that's a good sign if you're an OUG fan. Looking further into the series, though, that Tunisian map number 2, it can be a bit of a wildcard pick for OUG. It is something that I'm looking forward to seeing them play.
Got to give a big shout out to Tectonic on the other side for OUG. He said, we are not an American team. We are a Chinese team. We've been playing in China. We've trained with the Chinese, and our Chinese fan base is here. They've got the Lucia buff. She's come all the way out to Poland. She's been doing some casting. She's going to be cheering on the squad here. And Brody, she's used to doing some winter interviews with this squad.
Yeah, for sure. You know, everyone loves it on Twitter. Every single time that Lucia was casting the games for OUG, they were winning those games. So she's here. She's in the stage. She's,
Absolutely.
Going to be supporting the squad. That must mean it's an OUG win.
We'll find out. Our official phone, the 1+15. If you guys haven't tried it out, the players are loving this thing on this stage. Nothing but good reviews as we are just moments away from this game. Chris Dunn, for everyone who is just tuning in, what have they missed? The best moments on the day, and what can top it here in this best of 5?
Oh, I mean, it has to go down to what we've seen with exclusives game. When it goes to that map number 5, we go to 7-5 in round 11. You just missed that one, and we have the potential for something just like that here. A Mythic Dream have really actually turned up in this group and kind of caused a little bit of a problem, and I really didn't expect it. I think if you were telling me it was OUG against a Mythic Dream to qualify into bracket play all day long, I'd be saying OUG, but I'm standing here and I'm actually not that sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of wild, right? Because, again, you know, it's kind of a cardinal sin to commit as a caster, but in a way, I kind of wrote on Mythic Dream off as I went into this group. I was like, yeah, they've probably got the least interesting storyline a lot. NA is kind of in the water a little bit as far as, you know, their chances here at Champs is concerned. I had more high hopes for exclusive in a way, and to be fair, to a certain extent, maybe they delivered on them in those last series. But still, you know, on Mythic Dream, they've come here, they've proved that they are definitely worthy of the competition. I think they can take out OUG, but they've got to be putting on their A game.
Our players have one more minute in the firing range before we get this one started, and I got to ask you, Infinity, if you're looking for snipers, who are my players to watch?
I mean, looking at OUG, I think Kings is the guy, right, for sure. That's been a conversation point, right, for OUG, I think in particular, right, OUG with their sniper rifles. You know, they've lost a Jabin and Seven coming into this event, but it feels like Kings has done a relatively good job. We saw him on, I think it was the Coastal Search and Destroy, doing pretty well. So I feel like, you know, he's definitely the guy for me. On the other side, I'm looking at Noisy. Noisy is definitely a phenomenal sniper rifle player. If he can step things up a notch, on Mythic Dream, they'll be right there in the conversation.
What about the SMGs, Ton? Who needs to get up close and personal?
I mean, we're expecting it from Shisu consistently. We've seen it all day long. If Shisu can bring his A game, then they're going to cause a lot of problems. But I think this matchup's kind of going to be him against Raph, isn't it? Right? They're the two pop-off potentials in both these rosters. Shisu consistently will find those multi-kills. You mentioned it yourself there, Chris, about Raph. He hasn't necessarily been putting up huge numbers.
Yeah.
But when he's finding a break, he's finding 2 or 3. We've seen it specifically in the control against Elevate. He won around on his own by punching through, getting his team in a good position for them to hold that defense, and he can bring moments like that. Both those players can bring moments like that, and that could be the defining factor. Moments make the difference when it comes down to Call of Duty. Both those players have the potential to create those moments.
Vibes are high on the right side of the stage on Mythic Dream. Vamos, baby, let's go. They are ready to take on the challengers, OUG, who fit in the final moments to get the 16 spot, trying to cause some chaos. They are just 3 map wins away from advancing to our top 8, Infinity.
Yeah, I mean, this would be the biggest storyline of the event so far. Looking over the groups, actually kind of checking who has gotten through. I think the biggest one so far, I would say, is Street beating TLE for sure. I mean, that's something that we were talking about. But yeah, this would be bigger. This would be the biggest storyline that's happened so far.
Enough yapping. It's time to go to the Hacienda. On the mic, we got Chris Tunn and Infinity. Take it away, boys.
Hacienda again. Every single series we've had a Hacienda to kick things off, and I like it. Final game of the day here on Alpha. And we have 2 very, very strong teams. OUG coming into this as the favourites by some distance. And UMD have been the upstarts of Group A. What can they bring to the table? Can they defeat the big dogs from China?
Yeah, this is a big map for them. Of course, OUG and Hardpoint, they have been the big boss in a number of different situations. UMD yet to win a Hardpoint today. So I think for them to come out and start this series in this fashion, especially in the context of us talking about the fact that, hey, their way into the series is a Search and Destroy, well, the Search and Destroy, as I should say, and one other map, this would be a huge way for them to start the series, Tom.
For UMD, I mean, Hacienda's been a real bone of contention today, hasn't it? I mean, for all the games that we've seen, it's been tough. It's been extremely tough for them to manage to find the win on it. OUG, though, themselves have not necessarily lit it up in Hardpoint how we expected. We've seen Exclusive really cause them some problems, so I'm going into this, yes, okay, feeling OUG in these Hardpoints. I think their road to victory is kind of, it's permanent Tectonic said, S&D is where UMD potentially have us. So the feeling, even in the OUG camp, is we probably need to do this in 4.
Yeah, definitely. We're looking over towards Unmythic Dream, then in towards this hard point thus far. We, of course, saw them earlier on Hacienda, and we talked about their P2 setups being, well, pretty damn good, we shall say. And a lot of it kind of predicated on the idea that you would have these operators and you would basically full stack them in towards the point. Well, right now, they're not that far. Well, they're behind OUG, and so they won't have any operators to work with. They're going to have to do it with just the pure gunny, first and foremost, and it's OUG through the front.
Let's see if they can find a way through. And be over towards the backside, making sure those spawns stay on the side of UMD. As OUG now trying to find a way through. Solo cannot get there. Kings is able to find the trades, and they're just a pinstripe kill feed across the board. The ones who are in, well, both two teams right now, but there's Raph, who can break that Doug Tectonic, will find it, and there's the break for OUG.
And again, you just don't have any ops early on. OUG going to overwhelm you, and now we're going to see this OUG setup. They're going to try and get a player out in towards the lobby and hold the players down the driveway side. OUG could also get a War Machine into the mix for the last 20. That would be huge, but no, they're just going to do it with the gunny for the moment here. It's going to be a full yellow kill feed, and there is that push out in towards the lobby as well. UMD, 10 seconds left on this hardpoint ton. You've got to start rotating away here. There is no point investing in towards this time because you've got to be careful of a player like Tech who's on those streaks.
Yeah, they're going to be the second ones there at this moment in time, though. OUG already on that route. You can see Solo setting himself up as we head over towards P3. Tectonic will find one. These transitional kills are always so important. Solo gets taken down. It's important that Puertas found that. If you got really like that needle in a haystack, so to speak, you're trying to find that player, and Tin, the guy that's behind you, causing issue. Good job that they got rid of Solo as quickly as possible. UMD now have potential to try and find something here, but it's OUG inside of the point. Sparrow's out.
OUG trying to push out the hard point every single point of ingress. Yeah, I mean, you talk about it, right? Raph also had the claw out at the same time. So OUG with the double investment here to keep UMD at bay. Now it's going to be Cartels on a potential flank with the Tempest, and he's just doing Cartel things. Oh, goodness me. One more player. Raph will take that guy down. And OUG are getting a wealth of time on a kill that you rarely see that happen. Despite all these smokes, despite the counters that UMD are trying to put together, it's just not happening.
Our point has been UMD's struggle all day long, and it's starting to look at here on Hacienda. Solo, Cartels, Kings, starting to light them up now. It feels as if OUG have come into this one hot off the back of that win up against Exclusive. And going up against the North American representation, there's going to be a little bit of extra will to get this one over the line. But I mean, a placement in the playoff bracket's pretty much all the will you need, but a little bit of extra bite. Kings and Code trying to find this rotation now over towards P4 for UMD. You need to find a clean break here somewhere. When it comes down to Hacienda, if you can find a good P2, yeah, okay, you can get yourself back into the game. You're already 70 down before we got to P4, though.
Yeah, the setups for P2 as well, or for P4, excuse me, they can be so good for any given team. And you can see OUG already trying to set themselves up for that. Look at playing the 3 minute. Cartel's trying to get behind enemy lines. Raph will also send the Predator missile down from the heavens, and I don't think that's where UMD think it's coming from. I think they feel like it's coming from hell at this point. 35 on the clock. OUG have not been contested in this time yet.
30 seconds remaining. Can you find a way through if you're UMD? You absolutely have to. A couple of operators coming on through now, and they are both dead. There's the War Machine, there's Equalizer, gone in the blink of an eye. OUG are speed running this one at the moment, 130 to 39. Crazy start from the OUG side. Raph just starting to light up. 4 kills from Raph, and they are just all falling his way. 5 in a row from Raph. OUG running away with this one.
And just look at the kill differential right now. What is this? We're at champs, for heaven's sake. This is like a stage 3 match. OUG running through them, and UMD, the key slayers that we were talking about previously. We talked about Shisu, the guy that you want to look at to step things up for UMD. 8 kills to his name. Puertas, his longtime duo, also on 8 kills. The new addition, Envy, only on 9. OUG are shutting every single player on UMD down right now. They've got to step things up like 20 notches. We're up in the number, mate.
I mean, when we said that those particular players that could be coming in for UMD, Shisu, Puertas, we said that they could be the ones to carry some of the load. 20 kills between them. Kings has 20 kills on his own. Cartels has 20 kills on his own. And Raph is the guy we said from OUG who would light it up, leading the way in the kills department for his squad. OUG looking so solid. They picked up some phenomenal time over towards P1. P2's incoming, and this is where UMD can maybe get themselves back into the game. The potential great equalizer is the Garage Hill. We're moving there in a second. If they can find a full 60 here, it's at least not quite as bad as it looks now.
And to me, it's all about the reservation of those operators, right? You're going to run into them soon. You're going to get the cycle of operators very soon. So you have to get control of this hill and then do what you did before, which is actually use your operators to hold on to it. The problem is, Deck is doubling up on you. You're scrapping to get any control whatsoever. You're not getting those those ops anytime soon either. You need to start getting these kills, and Tech isn't letting it happen.
Oh, once again, Envy manages to take himself down over towards P2. Shiseo is going to be able to find plenty, though, and 45 seconds remaining here over towards P2. It's time that is sorely needed for the side of UMD. Kings now trying to shut down the water push, cannot do so. They're investing and investing well. Puertas in Dakota doing well with their operators. The return is looking nice, and Puertas is starting to line it up now with the War Machine. They're bringing in the Equalizer as well. This 30 seconds is massively important to UMD.
Yeah, I mean, this is their strategy, right? Just get in a P2, invest every single operator you've got, and hope that you can soak up as much as time as possible. That leader's advantage, though, for OUG is dominant. UMD going to invest everything to try and get this 15 seconds of round time. OUG actually going to kind of send a bit of reinforcements at that time to steal it away. You could, of course, do that with the leader's advantage, but it's all for naught as all 4 players do go down. And now the foot race is on. Towards the next hard point we go. OUG looking for the first touch. This was a beautiful hill for them last time around, Tom.
UMD get the hill that they needed, though, to put themselves back into contention. But now they need to limit the bleeding over towards P3, and that bleeding was heavy. Last time out, as you mentioned, streaks and everything that's needed coming in right now. You can see for the side of UMD, invested so much over towards P2, we're now seeing it from OUG. They are answering back in turn. 40 seconds remaining here for OUG, and I mean, it's looking pretty solid over towards P3.
It's just wild how they've got so much faith in one another. The communication to watch every single point of ingress towards this hard point and make sure that you're continuing to get those kills is wild. OUG not letting UMD even look at this hard point at the moment. Couple of ops now coming out as well. UMD just cannot even get a look at the hard point here, Ton. Every single point is being watched. And UMD, I mean, you've got 15 seconds left. You can't even really give up the scrap time at this point because now you're starting to give streaks away to OUG.
It's becoming a little bit of a task for UMD to try and bring this one back. I mean, Hacienda has not been their stomping ground whatsoever so far today. And that seems to be a continued theme. OUG 25 seconds away from taking map number 1 in very convincing fashion. Raf has himself an EMP as well, and this has just got to spell so much trouble for UMD. The heavens are opening, Solo's finding kills. I mean, this is just so easy at this moment in time. 20 seconds away from a storming map number 1.
Oh, this is just nonsensical, isn't it? OUG, this is the OUG that we've come to know and love. Hardpoint is their game. OUG is their name. 10 seconds away from victory here, and everything, the kitchen sink, is going at that kill ton. OUG, it is but a formality at this point. They will dominate map number 1. A statement start to their qualification matchup.
Not much really needs to be said about that one. As convincing as we've seen all day. Confidence builder for OUG after not winning a hard point in their previous series. The OUG Neslo is not something I expected to see in that previous one against Exclusive. That's not going to be the case this time around. They will find the hard point as expected. A 1-0 lead for them in this final game of Group A. And a dominant one at that. For UMD, the hard point was to continue. But for UMD, I don't want to try and get too negative on them for that performance because Hardpoint has not been their game this week, or today specifically, I should say. And that's been fine. That's okay, because they managed to find their way through a 2-3-5 setup. That is their route to victory in this series. We expected them to come in and probably lose this Hacienda. What I'm slightly concerned about, Brody, is the manner that it happened.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is the thing. Again, I'll be perfectly honest in saying, and we were kind of hitting this towards earlier on towards UMD on this map. It did feel like the way that they were being competitive earlier on here on Hacienda Hardpoint was pretty one-note, right? I mean, it was a very one-dimensional thing of just like, hey, so the majority of our time is going to come from P2, and that got kind of less and less effective as the game went on, as they kind of fell out of favor with Elevate. You know, you can't just rely on we're going to get into P2 and we're going to have 3 operators out and we're going to get our time from that hill. That's not going to work, especially against a team, by the way, that is kind of renowned. Again, I know there's memes behind it, guys. Kind of renowned for how good their setups on Hardpoint are, especially P2 on this map. So, yeah, OUG just indomitable there on that one, and that shows in the KDs.
Incredible work from the side of OUG. Take away map number 1, as expected, as advertised. But how does the rest of the series go? Because it's kind of been a real topsy-turvy day for them, to be honest with you. I think, you know, had you told me today, okay, that they go down against Elevate, they'd really have to be forced all the way to a map 5 by Exclusive by way of losing 2 hard points, but then winning S&Ds, I don't know where the headspace is with the S&D. Yes, okay, they've just won 2 of them to get themselves to this stage. But how are they feeling about Tunisia? Because as far as I'm concerned, not usually that hot.
Yeah, Tunisia is a weird one, I think, for both of these teams, right? I think, specifically looking at OUG on Tunisia, it's been like a 50-50 game mode. I think certainly on towards early on in CDM, Tunisia was a bit of a cagey one for OUG. They couldn't really figure it out. They'd often find themselves kind of stuck in headlights. And then as we got kind of further and further in towards CDM, they kind of figured out that just kind of throwing something at the wall that isn't very nice and seeing what sticks is the way to go about it. So I think that's the kind of key here for OUG, is just keeping that variance and strategy that works so well towards the back half of CDM and hoping that that will work out against a roster like UMD. I will say though, UMD seem pretty proficient in S&D.
So this is the route to victory for UMD though. It feels like a must-win map. For OUG, it would be an absolute bonus, wouldn't it? If they can take away the search and destroy, but it's round number 1. Solo has just had a free run through the middle of the map, and it doesn't really matter because UMD are already waiting for them. They open a door, but they're waiting on the other side of it with the shotgun. Noisy now could do with holding this down, and is going to. We'll find Tectonic. Cartels will answer back 2 versus 4 in favor of UMD.
I'm surprised that angle wasn't checked there by Tectonic before he ran straight into Noisy. Nonetheless, though, he'll get traded out on the Kings for the 1v4. No way. Finds first. No shots out yet from UMD. They're letting him survive.
Keep it cooking. I mean, they're just trying to bait him out at this stage. Dakota's going to get caught. Let's just not try and make this happen. 1 versus 2 now from Kings. Trying to keep himself alive. They've got the info on him, but they haven't been able to close the gap. What are we doing? What are we doing? We are giving this one away. Envy will fall 1v1.
No way. Kings is going to go for the chase as well.
Misses the shot. Goes for it again. The shotgun is out. Can he find the 1v4? Bow down to the King. My goodness, what a way to start this stage. There is no way on this planet that should happen. My God.
Oh boy, that's one of those. That's one of those where it's like, yeah, fair play, Kings, but also UMD, come on.
What are we doing? 1 by 1 by 1, and Kings knocks them down.
Oh boy. I was going to say I feel like we're watching NA Codm, but we are watching NA Codm. UMD going to draw first blood in this round at the very least. OUG trying to work off the back of that height, but I feel like they might be overheating a little bit here in this one turn. Kings and Cartels now found themselves in a bit of an awkward spot.
Well, Kings is left. Run it back. Chalmy with the Type 63 will be saying right now, and if I'm UMD, I don't know if I want to. Don't line up again. Do not line up again, Kings. Smelling blood in the water once more. He seemingly cannot be gunned right now. Envy's going to take his time, though. This is a little bit more like it. We're baiting, we're switching, we're finding the kill. Better from UMD. But whoa, it's getting a little nervy.
Yeah, that was, I think, 100% one of those rounds where something crazy has just happened in the prior round, and OUG are like, well, let's just full send it. Let's just see what we can do. That's exactly what they did. Of course, UMD also kind of met them with that aggression in towards B. And they will win those fights. So that's a crucial round for UMD to stop any early momentum from OUG. And here is that aggression once again.
Solo getting aggressive, super aggressive. They're not even expecting this, but Puertas will find the first kill. Drake comes through. Oh, this is 4. Solo hit him with a quick 1-2. Puertas will fall. OUG are feeling it now, though.
That's just not the way you clear out the back of the site normally. Normally it's like you till over the top and then take them out with a sniper rifle. And Solo said, yeah, I'll just do it with the prize fighters. It'll be all right on the night. OUG now numbers in their favor. UMD have to find a way back into the site. And, well, there's 35 seconds. That time will disappear before your very eyes.
It's going to be a hit towards the back, which is going to be the catalyst for them, but OUG, they're dug in deep. Solo holding this with AHS, and this is just never a fun push. And we will fall as well. Dakota Noisy dealt with. What is this beast that OUG brought to search and destroy? They're bringing the flare right now. They're 2-1 up.
Yeah, you know what? That is the closest I think I've seen anybody play like Clove from Stillwater. I mean, that is the closest I think I've ever seen any player play like Clove, where Solo's just like, yeah, I'm just going to full ram straight in towards the B site with not a care in the world. Yeah, that's pace that we don't normally see from NA, I'll tell you that for free. So this is definitely a Chinese team. OUG, right back at it towards A. Again, variance and strategies. There isn't a variance as you send in a shotgun player straight for the middle map, and they've successfully got through.
I mean, Raph has not stopped running forward, and that's just going to open things up. It will be panic in the camp as Raph will find 1, Raph will find 2. And it's just opening up like a tin of sardines over towards A. Shisu will find 2 though to answer this one back. 3 versus 2. UMD have a chance. But OUG have just found themselves inside of the point and have the opportunity to get this bomb down.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a second. OUG, 3 versus 2 now. We're going to get this bomb down on site. They should be able to do so without much of a stress here. UMD, of course, only really have a couple of options because Tunisia is a pretty big map, and I don't know if you would have time to make a really long flank around. So I will say, on the other side, though, there is one player solo who is watching said flank. For the moment, this is effectively a 2 versus 2 if UMD are fast with it.
Just felt like Raph ran through the middle of the map, survived, and just caused absolute chaos. Envy will fall. UMD, this feels disjointed. It feels like we're not all quite on the same page. Quedes now left in a 1 versus 3. OUG about to go 3-1 up. He cannot look in 3 directions at once. Kings will find another.
Yeah, and it's just like, how do you let Raph get through behind enemy lines like that and not realize it? Because the thing is, he got tagged, right? So they saw him, they knew that he was there, and yet still he's able to walk away with 2 kills. Your immediate kind of priority there, if you're UMD, was like, right, we got to get deal with him. Like, don't worry about the A site. We can retake that. Let's not lose more players.
I can sympathize because he kind of ran past and didn't even look for the gunfight. So immediately he's behind, yes, okay. And that happens so fast that I think UMD are struggling to then reposition themselves. And I get pushed from the other side, right? Tough one. Well played from Raph. Envy will find Kings, though. Feels like the first blood that UMD have managed to have in quite some time. Second kill probably going to come through here. Oh, that's lines 2 up. 3 with the pistol. My God, the machine pistol absolutely ringing for Dakota. UMD find a round back very, very quickly.
I never had to criticize OUG about anything thus far in the search and destroy, is that this gung-ho attitude can sometimes come back to bite them. That is a situation where that exactly happens. That's not the first time that's happened as well, where OUG have kind of full sent it towards archers and hope for the best and not really done their due diligence in checking for any players. That time, even worse. Cataclysmic. So UMD, a couple of rounds on the board now. OUG trying again. Shisu close.
Shisu should be able to find 1. Finds 2. And he's so good at fighting these corners. He nearly finds a 4th. Cartels and Kings were falling. Tectonic nearly joined them. And that's what UMD do well in Search and Destroy. It feels like OUG has been their game ever since that 1 versus 4 from Kings. They've been riding that momentum. All of a sudden, UMD have tied this one up by the looks of things, unless Tectonic can find the second 1 versus 4 of this entire Search and Destroy. But I think OUG, I know it's kind of not been as defensive heavy as time has gone on, but 3 apiece after an attacking side for OUG, you take that.
Yeah, it's not a defensive sided map anymore.
It used to be.
It used to be, I think, when strats were not very variant, but I think the way to get in a site now is just, it's so much easier to do so now with all the right utility and such, so yeah. I think that's kind of fallen by the wayside. Tech, though, trying a 1 versus 4, and impossible is the way we go about that, as there's no chance. I will say, I think from the half so far, this is that kind of... it almost feels like a randomizer for OUG or what strategy they pull out at the start of these rounds. I think the only consistent thing for all those offensive rounds from OUG was the fact that they were super duper aggressive. So we'll see whether UMD can match that pace as we get into their offensive efforts. This is much more normal. Utility over the top, and hope you can take the player out.
UMD finding their way through, but Kings finding Dakota. Kings finding another. 11 to his name. Envy looking to try and answer back. Great shot from him. Raffle fall, but 3 of his teammates are already dead. That's Kings on for the ace. Shisu and Envy are you the next ones on the chopping block. Envy getting the hell out of dodge here. He'll turn for that. Solo will find him. This is aggression from OUG on the defensive side, and they'll take that one at a canter.
And that's kind of the issue, right, with that kind of normal play, per se, right, where you're just reliant on getting utility over the top and clearing out the B site and hoping that you can get control of it. If that doesn't happen, rarely is there a backup plan for that, unless you are simply just going to outgun. And against OUG, I don't necessarily know if that's going to be the case unless Shisu is the one doing the gunning. So, OUG starting strong on the defense to kick things off. UMD now going to be a little bit more passive in towards the next offensive effort, and I do not blame them. Just wait for OUG to get twitchy. That felt like the exclusive strategy early on a little bit. Just wait for OUG to come your way, and it worked for most rounds, but obviously, as we know, it didn't in the end. Now looking for that first snipe hit. Puedes, could he be the man of the hour?
It's all quiet on Tunisia right now. I think you're right. Like, it does work against OUG, but at this stage in the tournament, they seem less enthused to be the ones to make the move. They're on the defensive side. They're in the lead. They don't need to do a goddamn thing. Slow and steady seems to be, well, the hope to win the race for UMD right now. A minute on the clock. Still formulating a plan. Still trying to put the feelers out. Figure out where OUG are. If we can find a pick. That's a little bit of a tag on the rough. He'll continue to survive, but they may try to isolate him now. He's going to try and find his way out, but that might just kick UMD into gear over towards it.
Yeah, the thing is here, as you said, OUG now potential flanking play from them. UMD are taking their time, and they might well regret that, because there's a player right behind you, and Solo's being patient with it as well. He's going to find one, but actually gets traded out by Dakota. That's huge, but now time is starting to drain off the clock.
Envy finds one. Can he find another? Yes, he can. Does so well. They just walked into the site. Eventually, it took their time, but Cartel's now left in a 1 versus 2. 18 seconds to go, and that time is on his side. Expecting the push to come around, but the bomb's going down, and he knows he can challenge it. He knows he has to challenge it, but here comes the other player. Well played from Dakota to get off it. Patience seems to be the aim of the game for UMD, and they walk away with that one.
Imagine if Solo had found a little bit more value out of that flank, man. That would definitely have been an OUG round. Got to say fair play, though, to the last couple of players. I believe it was Dakota and Puedes there in that 2 versus 1. Just play that together. Don't do anything too silly. No reason to individually solo challenge like you did the earlier 4 versus 1. Either way, OUG, early utility going out. Tech with a beautiful nade over the top will take Puedes out of the play. And now OUG just going to play patient again.
And they're happy to. No need to get twitchy now, as things will find to. UMD, now this is the position where it's hard to be twitchy. You can't necessarily take your time here, can you? Yeah, 3 versus 5. OUG got so much covered. With a minute and 10 to go. It's difficult because we're saying you can't take your time, but if you just fly in, you don't have the numbers advantage. I just don't think OUG are going to make a misstep in this position, surely.
You would think so, but obviously if UMD were to play kind of numbers, just try and hit something in a 3v1 or 3v2 maybe, you could still win this round. I think the key thing to me is just getting Kings out of the B site, right? Just getting a player away, getting control of a site. Trophy system down there, it's going to stop any util.
Well, the info's there for Kings. He may well not land some of the bullets. Doesn't land really a great deal, but Dakota will find him. Well, he slowed them down enough that OUG are here. Shisu. He has to be so big for his team here. This is the kind of position that he just seems to thrive in. Now he's going to press go, and he's going to get caught out. They know they was going to make the push. Dakota's going to be able to find one for UMD, but OUG sweep the site. Those extra numbers help out this time. 5-4 lead now for OUG.
Dakota had the right idea there in that situation, right? You know, get in towards the archway and hope for the best. What they didn't predict was the fact that Solo was just sat peek in the corner. The call had already been made for OUG. Look, let's make a bit of noise. Let's hope that they get over aggressive, and that is exactly what happened. So, OUG winning the game with nerves at the moment. I will say a good play, I think, from UMD to actually make the transition towards B successfully, right? And you read that you're not going to get in towards A. There's no point wasting time because you've done that in previous rounds. Just rotate away as a squad and hope you can take a 3 versus 2 or a 3v1 on another site. And you win that one. And you're gaining information every time you do that as well. You now know that Kings is probably going to preferably play towards that B site. Until over the top, though, at the start of this round, once again, survival training galore.
Oh, look at this. Oh, he's read them like a book. Oh, but only finds one. Solo snaps so quickly. Was a potential disaster for the side of OUG, but it's turned into a nightmare for UMD, if anything. Envy's tagged up, but it's only him and Puedes left in the 2 versus 3. Doable from this position, but tough to say the least. Solo going to have to back on down, has a little bit of help from the rest of his team, and it seems as if UMD are going to run away with their tail between their legs. Don't play from OUG, and crucially, that bomb's down over towards A.
That's the big issue here, isn't it?
Yeah, they see it. They're chilling.
Yeah, double sniper set up here against players on A. I mean, to be fair, the Tundra is probably a weapon that you want in this situation, right? To kind of snap on players, but as we've already had a discussion, sometimes you see players not the snappiest with the Tundra, despite the fact that it's hella OP. Now looking for it. 2v3. Slow and steady wins the race. 45 seconds on the clock. Envy probably going to be first point of contact.
You'll have a good idea. Oh, you can see the hair on his chinny chin chin. Oh, Cartels, though. Ready for the push that will come through, and now Puedes is left. And the 1 versus 3. Has to get the bomb, has 30 seconds to do so. Get it down, kill 3 of them, 1 of the 2. Both seem quite impossible. But we did see a 1 versus 4 from Kings in the very first round of this map, so I don't actually want to call anything impossible at this stage. That was wild, but OUG looking likely to go to map point.
Wader's just looking for it now. Again, you've got to move. 10 seconds on the clock. He will snap on towards one. OUG say no more. Absolutely not. And that's one of those situations where, as you already said, mate, the bomb was down. OUG knew exactly what to do. And UMD in that situation just tried to pick off angles, but I think it was also a little bit individual. I think Envy just went a little too early for his teammate there. Left him in a 1v3.
UMD, no more lives left. This has to work. And they're sending so much utility over towards this side of the map. And it ain't a fake. Kings just done well to survive. The rest of the team, or at least Tectonic, are on their way. Kings now just trying to survive. Tectonic can find one under Dakota. It's going to be answered back by Envy. 4 versus 4.
And you still haven't dealt with everybody towards the back of the site as well. That's the big issue here. Now flanking play from Solo.
You can hear them. You can hear them. Puedes. Oh, he doesn't land the shots, and Solo will find it. Does he have the backup? Yes, he does. Shisu finds 2 in Hatu. Now a 2 versus 3. Envy falls. 2 versus 2. Shisu inside of the side. Tectonic towards the back. Cartel's just looking for potential angle here. 1 minute and 5 seconds to go. Shisu and Noisy need to find this round, but they only have Shisu. Noisy will fall. 1v2.
I'm curious if they thought they'd cleared out the back of the site or not, because Tech was chilling there for a real long time. Nonetheless, it's not going to matter. Tech finds that kill, brings us down, as you said, to a 2v1 for OUG. You win this, you win the S&D, you go 2-0 up. I mean, winning the S&D feels like an unthinkable thing for OUG at times, so this would be a big confidence booster for them.
It'd be a massive bonus for OUG to find this search. But they're going to have their work cut out. Shisu has the bomb down, and how many times have we seen Shisu? Positioning is the name of the game. And he's so good at finding those moments. He's so good at finding those picks. He needs to find 2 of them here to keep UMD in this search and destroy. He's played the flank, and he's played it perfectly. Did he see him? OUG, do they have any idea? No, they don't at this moment in time. Shisu, is he going to find the play? Yes, he is. Shisu for the 1 versus 2. Positioning, positioning, positioning. And the timing gets a tick as well. Shisu with a huge moment for UMD.
Defend the objectives. They have the bomb.
Man, that was a big round. That is a huge clutch to get them back into the game. Now they're looking to force overtime. They've gone at B on a multitude of occasions. They have not been able to crack A. Last time they did, the bomb got slapped down in a 2 versus 3, and we know how that went. Only still going out. A couple of tags, but nobody out of the round just yet. And this is, I think, the big issue here for a lot of teams, right? Unless you've got a sniper looking to play so kind of over-aggressive, as it were, getting first picks on towards A is extremely difficult. You've got to have some confident sniper rifle players.
Noisy trying to find something. OUG. I don't think they would have expected Kings over here. Never mind channeling that angle up towards Winery. I mean, but Noisy, you're just never ever expecting it. Kings, oh, he got himself out. Just about. Now with them thinking that Kings is over at A. Oh, is B free? Absolutely not. Solo, he'll find 1. But we answer back from Puedes. Shisu will find another one over on the transition towards B. So a 3 versus 3.
Yeah, you're still not sure though. You know that Solo is close. You don't know about the back of the site. Smoke down. I don't think it's helped either team.
It's big.
Takes Shisu out though. Now, not too sure how the rest of this round's going to go. Cartel's for another one.
Here we go. Cartel's on the flank. He will find it. And that will be map number 2 going OUG's way. The search and destroy was not one they expected to find. And they are now firmly in the driving seat of this series.
They've done what they once thought was impossible. Hey, they won an S&D, folks! They did it!
They won 2 in the last series, in fairness. But specifically from what UMD have been doing, you didn't think that would be possible. But the catalyst, and one that will be played on socials over and over again, was that round number 1, 1v4 from Kings. I mean, there is no chance in hell he should have had this opportunity. It just has to be a miscommunication coming through from UMD. That's one that you would love to rewatch back slowly and hear the comms, because there is no way that should happen. And to lose 7-5?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, I'll say this much. UMD did make a recovery, right? We literally talked about that in the next round where OUG, I think, felt themselves just a little too much off the back of that 1 versus 4 and then immediately ended up kind of being punished for it. But I will say, I think, you know, OUG for that S&D, that was very reminiscent of what we saw from them in CDM, right? Where just like on the offense, they had a variety of different strategies. The only thing in common with every single one of them is the fact that it was just, let's just full send it with at least one of our guys. Just be proper nuisances. You know, having a variance in strategy, it just makes you totally unreadable. This is just a map, I think, in general, that I don't think it's possible even to VOD OUG on, because they've just got so many different strategies on this one. There's literally no point doing it beyond, okay, if they are going to have players on me, you know, that's when they're going to have players on the site and stuff. On the flip side of that conversation, though, I will say UMD probably could have done a little bit better at checking certain positions when they were on the offense, because there were multiple occasions where they would maybe get a kill on towards B, for example, and then they wouldn't follow it up by, all right, can we actually make sure we've cleared the site? Because the amount of times that another player would be left on the B site, it's not something you want to be doing at this kind of level of COD Mobile.
I think the real difference maker for me in that final round we got to see was Kings with the switch up over towards A, finds that kill over towards Winery, and UMD are like, wait, that's the guy that plays over a B, right? It's wrong this time. Solo was there, finds the trade, and that's all he needed to do, just one. Finds that trade, slows them down, gets that info, and OUG are on their way over it, and are nearly on their way to playoffs over the next 2 days. Well, hopefully for them for the next 2 days, at least for tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's the key thing for me. Obviously, we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves here a little bit, but, you know, whoever OUG play in their first round of matchup, if they do now conclude this series, even in 3, 4, 5, however, if they get through this series, I am curious to see what happens when OUG play another top team, because we got a taste for that earlier today, right? You and I got to cast Elevate versus OUG this morning, an absolute banger of a matchup. And I will say, I think OUG, really outside of the Search and Destroy, hyper-competitive team. Like, it really doesn't feel like they've skipped a beat in the respawns. It's just, you know, very difficult to tell that against a roster that is literally renowned for being the best hardpoint team in the world over the course of the last year. So, you know, I'll say, I think OUG's chances in this tournament are still pretty high. Again, I know that their Search and Destroy needs improvement. We've seen that time and time again. But, you know, they know that. Again, like, that's the thing they're going to be working on over and over again, is just making sure that if they need it, they can rely on their S&D.
All right. They should be ready in a second.
Well, the hard point, it's kind of been a bit of a mixed bag for them, but I say that it feels like Exclusive just looked really bad at hard point. Like, ridiculous. I think the maps that we've seen from they'd be pretty much anybody in that mode. I would have fancied them, to be honest with you, but their problem was every other mode, which is usually what OUG's problem is, but OUG just pipping them into the odds.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that is that we were having like a conversation in the green room about this, and it's just like Exclusive on hardpoint. I've been seeing a lot of screenshots, you know, a lot of scrims. Exclusive are like, oh, they've been looking so good, man. They've been winning games in hardpoint. And then I thought, why have I only seen hardpoint scoreboards? And then we realized, oh, that's why we've only seen hardpoint scoreboards.
They're sitting behind you, by the way. I can see you getting some eyes here, Brody. No, they're not pitting.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys.
They heard you talking. They heard you talking and tuned out. And to be honest, I do the same quite often.
It's fine. I totally understand that, to be honest. Anyway, look, this could be the final map of Group A. OUG, they just got to win the control, and they are through to the championship bracket. UMD, I want to see him put up a fight.
We see him raid control already today from UND. Looking fairly solid. But OUG will be looking to get this one done and dusted. Keep those energy levels up. Riders will be there to find the very first kill of this control. But Solo can find 2 inside the kitchen, and that is where he can just cause absolute havoc. Finds 3, Envy will take him down. But the tip of the spear has well and truly pierced through the heart of UMD, and A may well already be gone. Raph trying to stay alive. The pressure's starting to come in here from UMD because it needs to, because A gone if you don't do something about it, just like that in the blink of an eye. OUG, massive advantage.
They did that without kitchen control. As well, by the way, like, they were just full sent on, like, let's just full sprint towards pool, let's get A out of the way, let's not even worry about mid-map pressure, and that is exactly what they did. To do that without money control is wild. Now they're looking to transition here. 2 minutes on. Get this one done. She's still the very least is providing resistance, but OUG players, they're still rooted behind you. Get worse.
Riders are going to be able to find one here on the flank. Shisu's still surviving. If you are OUG, you need to get rid of this guy behind you because he is causing a lot of problems. Tells is waiting from Shisu once again. He's still going. That's like 4 or 5 in a row from Shisu. Eventually does get taken down. 15 versus 15. The battle lines are being drawn a little bit more now, though. UMD do have this control. OUG are going to have to come from this spawn. UMD in a bit of a better spot now.
OUG going to have to retry for map control once again, and look at this play coming out from OUG here. It is going to be effort behind enemy lines, looking for the spawn kill now. Oh god, machine pistol doesn't do that anymore. Tech, you will get shut down for it, but OUG, they are far from done. They've still got players behind.
They really did focus on being able to find the kills. Raf can find one. They start to going, and now they broke it wide open. Really, if you are Dakota, you need to continue. Tectonic will get taken down, but they find Dakota. One more play coming through on the flank, but UMD need to get OUG are starting to get things ticking over towards B. They've advantage. OUG's round to lose this now.
Yeah, now you've cleared space around the front as well, so it just feels like a kind of thing of just jumping on the point, getting UMD out and taking them out of the play as well, and that is exactly what's happened here, Ton. One last player, and it's going to be all she wrote, unless we see one of the most phenomenal plays we've ever seen in Call of Duty Mobile, which would be Shisu. Of course, you don't want to give that tick away, so he's just going to run in and make as much noise as possible to make sure that kill goes OUG's way. Phenomenal round from OUG, right? You get A done early on, and then you basically hyper-focus in on flanking over and over and over again. Never really just slapping the front on the hard point. Just constantly being a nuisance, constantly making UMD second guess about where they want to watch. And now here is that box standard play. If Tech had a really good round, so here's War Machine.
Sensational work from Tech just to slow down this attack immediately, but Solo. Death Machine was out, finds absolutely nothing with it. But we've seen any single fire guns in the hands of Kings so far today. The Annihilator may well just be the best one, of course. He's got it out, and he's playing with them over towards this B side, but the push coming in over towards A from UMD. 22 lives remaining. OUG have had a good start. And Kings, yep, now he's starting to fly. Can he find another onto Envy? Not quite going to be able to get it done, but is the damage done, potentially? UMD trying to find a way through. OUG just about dealing with it.
Predator missile inbound.
Good operators coming out, though, from OUG to try and clear some of that pressure. Cartels always reliable with the Tempest, finds a couple of kills. Good read on the flank, I will say, from Shisui to take Cartels down. So UMD are dealing with it. They're not that far down right now, Ton. Now Envy's going to start to push forward with the Annihilator as well. B slowly being captured here in this instance, and they are reading that OUG are trying to make these flanks happen.
Shisu's game sense is wild. Like, so many times he finds himself in those positions, and like, he's got the gunny, absolutely, but honestly, he's one of the players that if I'm trying to get into this game, trying to be good, I'm studying his play of how he does it, but right now I'd be studying OUG and how they're playing control, because they have blown them wide open, and into the spawn trap you go if you're UMD.
Yeah, I love that from your OUG as well, right? They give them control of B, but then they immediately follow up, no, you're not getting past the laundry, we're going to take you out, so that transition isn't even really a concern for us. And now we're back to where we were at the end of round number 1, where it's a 14v4, and look, it would be phenomenal to see this happen. Dakota's going to bring out the Sparrow for kills, but this is one of those ones where it's just like, why are we investing the Sparrow in this situation? You could use that at the start of the next round to try and give you something to talk about, right? But, you know, just put OUG in their spawn at the beginning of the round with Sparrow. Now you don't have that operator, and also it's worth saying, he used it. He didn't just pop it and die. He's not cycling that back. He used it. It's gone.
The only reason that would be really excusable is, well, realistically, because he might have had it out for a little while and survived, but I don't think he did. Seems as if he pulled it, but Puertes answering back to Tech with what he did in the previous round, and we'll find that War Machine through the middle of the map. Shisu and Kostan actually cook a little bit here. They're finding the kills. They are looking better here on the defensive side, but I say that may well have just cursed them. Tectonic and Kings working that well. They're on to B. They're getting some progress. OUG need one round to see themselves into tomorrow.
Bravo.
First tick already through on B, and mid-map pressure. Oh, it's so easy for Solo. It's so easy for OUG, isn't it? They haven't fully cleared space, I will say that much. You know, UMD, they've still got some presence around the backline that could be a nuisance. OUG, though, second tick through, they're not pressed about it.
3 kills comes through for Cartels with a little bit of help from Solo. And now, okay, well, that's a completely wasted Tempest. Finds absolutely nothing over towards B, was obviously feeling himself, and there's so many moments that OUG do that. Have a couple of good players, and it's like, yeah, bringing the Tempest out, I'm looking for it. Looking to take that momentum, and they, well, rotate it over towards A now. The lives belong to OUG. 2 ticks over towards the OUG alongside of the 2 rounds they've already found. It's their game to lose right now, Brody.
You're on a 15v15. This is manageable. 40 seconds on the clock here. As long as OUG don't invest, UMD should be able to brace for this one. I want to see them try to get players out of the kill-free money window, but now they've actually lost control of that area of the map as well. So it feels like OUG now starting to commit towards one of the points. They want to go for A, but I think they're actually looking for kills before they do so. Those kills are not being given right now. Finally, there is one from Kings, and now they can start to get this A capture going.
Yeah, I think they were just maybe looking for where ever these next kills are going to come from. They've set themselves up over towards this A side, but it's a slow tick. That's maybe going to give UMD an opportunity to try and find a flank. Well, it would have if Raph wasn't here. 3 kills, just like that. B's wide open. A's being captured. OUG mere seconds away from sending themselves into the playoff bracket.
And now you've got to fight a war on 2 fronts. If you're UMD, it doesn't look like you're going to win either of those battles.
Kings will find 2. And OUG have just been that little bit better in every single turn. 2 players remain, 1 remains, but OUG weren't even supposed to be here. We'll see you on Saturday.
Wow. What a series from OUG. Phenomenal from them in the hard point. I think that's the most confident they've looked all day. And albeit, you know, look, that's not the most difficult opponent they'll face all tournament long for sure. Things are definitely going to ratchet up a little bit tomorrow when they get in a championship bracket. I think that was a necessary performance from them, not just to win the hard point in the way that they did, but to absolutely dominate. They looked phenomenal. And I think that Search and Destroy is probably the biggest thing for me, right, Ton? It's just how well they played in that S&D. Just making sure they got that on the board. It needed to be a 3-0 for me, I think, going into tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll give them some confidence, but shout out to UMD. I think they were probably the surprise of this group in a certain way, finding themselves in this position, pushing teams as far as they did. We kind of cast them aside as fodder to a certain degree. We had it as a 3-horse race, but they put themselves into that conversation. Ultimately, they will come up short, but they did themselves pride, I want to say, that by facing teams like OUG and actually shoving them at certain points. They didn't look too bad against Elevate on occasion either. So BMD back to the drawing board, but OUG will get it done and they will advance on through to the bracket play.
Yeah, I mean, just really good play, I think, from OUG. I think in that control in particular as well. I love the way that they were kind of just completely swarming the map over and over again. You know, just not settling for the map control they did have. I think particularly in that round number 2, right, we know where they managed to get the first wave of gunfights in their favor. All right, cool. You know, we've got control of A. Let's just full sprint down the middle of the map to try and make sure we get behind enemy lines and cause some problems for UMD. It's that kind of control play that made them a proper nuisance. Some of the best of the best over in CDM. And albeit Raid wasn't their best map, I think, you know, they just generally speaking on control, that is what made them a problem. They look absolutely tantalizing.
Is Kings hacking? 25-8, and he seals the deal with some bombs from above. Let's talk to the man live with Ian Chambers.
OUG send home UMD, and I am with the man himself, Kings, who's been putting up numbers himself as well. You guys are cooking out here.
Yeah, man.
Did you expect, like, to be putting up numbers like this, performing on such a level, 3-0, and putting yourselves in the playoffs?
Of course, man. Practice. You know, I practice a lot, VOD a lot, so yeah.
Because do you think that that gave you a little bit of an advantage coming out here, knowing that people were going to underestimate you? Everyone was saying, you know, you're the underdogs, the outsiders. Do you think that being slept on has given you maybe a little bit of an advantage here in the groups?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably so.
What's the vibe like in the team now? Have you got faith and self-belief going into the next stage of this tournament? And I guess, I mean, look, it's right here. You can see the trophy just to the left of us. You've got to be eyeing that up quite a lot, right?
Yeah, of course, man. And yeah. You know, we're aiming for the trophy, so.
You got it.
And the vibes are really good on the team. Really good.
You can see that.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah. So Q9 looks like will be your next opponent in the playoffs. What do you make of them as a team, and how big of a threat are they to you?
Oh, big threat. And they're a great team. I think they're one of the best team here. So, yeah, we got to prep for that. And, yeah, we'll be good.
What do you think the next 24 hours looks like for you? What are you going to do tonight? Are you just going to get straight into scrims?
Oh yeah, I'm practicing, man. I'm practicing. I'm vodding, studying everything I can, and to make the best of what's next.
Well, I think everybody loves an underdog story. You've got a lot of fans out here. I think you guys are super cool. So best of luck going into tomorrow, and congratulations on your performance.
Thank you.
Cheers, Kings. Back to you, Puckett, to wrap it up.
Thank you, Ian. And we're going to have some bonus coverage of our Bravo stream here in just a moment. But first, let's focus in on the win from OUG. It was their cleanest victory of the entire night with a 3-0 and a stomping there in control. But now, Ton, Brody, I got to get your thoughts. Knowing they're playing against Q9, if they upset Q9 in the opening round, how far could this team go?
Very far. I think, again, this is the key thing for me about OUG that I absolutely love watching is just the fact that, OUG in their respawns are phenomenal. If they just continue to perfect those, I think they'll be one of the biggest teams in the tournament. The big thing for me is search and destroy, and that's going to be really tested tomorrow versus Q9, who are the best S&D team in the world. If they can do that, they can do anything.
Here's a look at your bracket. OUG will join Elevate Puck as they will now advance to the tournament bracket. You'll wonder what the prize pool starts to look like, though, as we say goodbye to our bottom 8 teams. If you finished at the bottom 13-16, you're walking away with 72.50. You got 17,000 though if you are on Mythic Dream. Congratulations on finishing in the top 12. That was a hell of an opening round performance. But you see, OUG and the rest of the 8 that power into our Saturday Sunday will make at least 24,000 in the running for the 350K.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big bump just for finishing 3rd to 4th, right?
Yes,
I mean, so
huge.
just finding that one win in that game, massively important.
Big stuff for our team from Mexico, but we, of course, have more action going on here in Poland. Let's take a look at what's going on over on Bravo. It is the final match of the night, and why is this one important? We need the result so we can place the rest of the bracket. We got Ton and Brody to check in on the action. Who are we watching? What's going on, Brody? Because that score is so tight.
Jeez Louise. Amigos, of course, a team I don't think anybody was really talking about that much now. Could potentially be able to force a Game 5 versus New Gen Ninjas, the representatives for India.
Well, here we go, though. New Gen Ninjas only need 20 seconds away as we move over towards the hill. And they need to find a way through, but AMG have actually managed to find that 25 seconds. Tight game to come into, Brody. We need to get up to speed.
Yeah, Amigos, they got to get this time. New Gen Ninjas, they've got the rotation towards New to fall back on if they need to. They've also got to try and contest. There's still 30 seconds left to fight for. A couple of kills do come through, though. Amigos trying to get in towards a hard point. This is a dogged fight.
It's tooth and nail between these two squads. You can still win it here if you're New Gen Ninjas. 20 seconds to go on this hill. They've got a little bit of control. Crozen can find 2 though. Borden, this is the best time to pull out the equalizers. He finds multiple. 10 seconds to go on this hill though. AMG find a way in.
Gotta find their way in now. A couple more kills and you can do this one. Still 8 seconds on board, but there's gotta be a contest from New Gen Ninjas.
New Gen Ninjas gotta find a way through or go into a map number 5 with the contest there. It doesn't look like it. They get the touch. 249. Who's on the rotation? It's New Gen Ninjas.
Get in the hill.
AMG need
That's
one
the hill.
away. They need to touch the hill.
Get in the hill.
Seconds. They need to get in, but they find the kills on the outside. New Gen Ninjas can still get this job done. And what a time to bring in the Tempest. What a time to join this game. AMG, you need one more break.
Viper.
What is that from Viper? 6 in a row. 250, 249. Yeah! Oh my God.
The super team coming together and pulling it out in the final moment. 250, 249. It's so good to see Jez, one of the longtime players here in Codm, finding success once again. I don't think they were expecting this one to be as tight as it was. What a massive win.
I mean, that's some way to come in, right? It's like 230, 230. Oh my word. I mean, what a way to finish it. The Tempest play to come out there. The fact that they just managed to find that contest towards the end of P4.
Yeah, literally 1 second.
1 second was the difference to go to a map number 5 to maybe send yourself to tomorrow.
Let's take a look at Viper's numbers here, Brody. 45 and 45. He played the most CODM in the lobby.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Viper is just one of those guys, right? You know, if Godlike were here, we'd have given so much love to Viper and Warden as the players that kind of rejuvenated those squad over the last year. They are the young guns. They are the players that had made that squad way better than they were in 2024 champs, and they've done exactly the same thing here for New Gen Ninjas. So I'm not surprised in the slightest that Viper's putting up.
I know there's some people in the chat asking, who the hell is New Gen Ninjas? Can you catch us up, Ton, in case you haven't been following the storylines?
I mean, obviously, a couple of issues for some of the teams getting over, but some of the Indian players who were able to secure visas then just kind of matched together, get themselves at this stage. And I think we've kind of not counted them in the conversation too much because we're like, okay, well, they haven't had much time to try and get
happen.
Exactly, but they have a lot of talent on that roster. I think they'll get better as time goes on as well. More practice, more actual competitive reps together. It's going to help them a lot.
Let's take a look at where our bracket landed after all 8 teams are locked in. New Gen Ninjas are the most recent to join the board. And here it is. Elevate will start off against the big surprise from Group D. That was Street Gaming, who walks away with the W. Wolves. We'll take on Gallerist. We have Q9 taking on New Gen Ninjas, which means OUG plays STE. That's why this match was so important. With New Gen Ninjas being a lower seed, that means they match up against Q9. What do we think about that opening fight, Brody?
Man, this is going to be crazy. I think New Gen Ninjas have got their work cut out of them for Q9 for sure. That's going to be a toughie. OUG, I don't know if they're a better match for Stalwart, honestly, because that's one of those hard point battles once again. ST aren't generally speaking known for their S&D. Okay. So that is a much better fight, I think, for them than Q9, other than the obvious reason that Q9 are just Q9. They are that good. But New Gen Ninjas, I think they would have had a tough time no matter what.
Oh, Wolves Gallerist as well. I mean, that is a juicy one as well in that upper bracket. That'll be a really interesting game. Gallerist haven't necessarily got things going, but that could be a fun one.
It's going to be a fantastic day number 2 as we went from 16 teams down to these on your screen. Who powers into the second round? Reminder, we're going back to a classic format. This is double elimination. You get 2 lives this time here at the World Championships.
Yep, you absolutely do. Of course, last year it was single elimination. We heard you guys. You wanted double elimination back. That is exactly what we've got. So if you're in a roster that maybe is going up against a Titan in your first round matchup, don't worry about it. You go down to the lower bracket. You still have a chance to get a bigger share of the prize, well, perhaps a path to that World Championship.
Done. While we're still prepping some of the assets, let's get into some predictions, because you guys will not be on my desk to open up the day. It'll be I Hold Shift alongside Proper. So walk me through these opening fights. Who do you have winning? Because it will be best of 5s again in this opening round of action.
I mean, I think a lot of people look at that Elevate game and be pretty confident that they will win and win that one. 3-1, probably something along those lines. But again, with Elevate, you're not too sure.
The only game they dropped was to OUG at the start of the tournament. We should remind people.
You would think it should be a 3-0, but still, Street Gaming have looked quite decent. Wolves and Gallerist is a really interesting one to me. A lot of people saying Wolves are one of the best teams at this tournament. Yes, absolutely, but I picked Gallerist to win the tournament.
Gallerist? To win it all?
I'm a big Brasilia fan. Vamos. Let's get it going, boys.
Yeah, I think the Gallerist thing is really interesting as well, because of course they made that swap before coming in the tournament. Zeus has joined that roster, and there's been questions about how much that has actually benefited them. Wolves, of course, playing with King instead of Rise for this event, so that is a really interesting matchup. I would say, though, I think Wolves are still favorites there.
If you talk to anyone in the venue, though, watching the games, they will say that Q9 is the team to beat. They have been ferocious. They fell short last year. They are on a warpath, and in their way, they will have New Gen Ninjas, then the winner of Stalwart Esports and OUG. Let's start with the New Gen Ninjas. If you're going to cause an upset against Q9, how do you get it done?
I'm looking at you because I don't know the answer to the question. That's a tough one because
searches?
Q9 are so well
do a 2-3-5?
There's no way they're winning those searches, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm too confident, but Q9 are literally the best search team in the world for a reason. They are unbeatable in that mode.
All right, I got Q9 moving into the next round. Let's talk about this final match then. Stalwart Esports was the team that I picked to win the entire tournament. Brody, you jumped on that bandwagon at the last moment after some of the team changes. How are we feeling about our pick looking at this run? It is not an easy road through the winner's bracket.
Yeah, look, I'll say this much. I still feel confident that Stalwart are the most understated team in the tournament, right? You got to remember, they beat Elevate, the former champions, not once, not twice, but thrice in Garena. They only lost the grand finals of the Garena finals to them. And even then, there were some close games in that grand finals as well. So a lot of people not talking about Stalwart. I think they've got some serious chances. I feel confident they can beat OUG.
Enough yapping from us here on the desk. Let's send it over to the queen of culture, Beef Mommy, and her spray cans.
Back here at the Graffiti Ball 3.0, and my goodness, there's a reason why I brought high heels today, because I'm going to be crossing over all of the teams that got eliminated. And this is honestly what I call the heartbreak wall, because we're seeing half of the teams being eliminated. Of course, the boys of EU going to be eliminated as well, and I will be looking for Animus. They were given a second shot in this competition, but out of the teams that got a second shot, it was OUG to get that and turn it into a day 2 presence. The Avalos from Japan out as well. And can I just say, I'm so proud of Bear Clan. Their first appearance in the stage, you guys did an amazing job. And hope to see you next year, perhaps. Looking down here, of course, we got Stalwart. They did an amazing job. Q9, they did well. XG. Who else am I missing here? On Mythic Dream. An amazing performance up against OUG. There you go. I believe I got every single one of them. Did I get everyone? I believe I did. And of course, over here, I'm going to double check that, of course, but we can see the bracket going on for day number 2 as we're seeing Frantic yet again. What's up, my dude? I've been hanging out with Frantic the entire day. And these are the different teams that you're going to be seeing tomorrow. We have 3 more, and do expect that this will be the brackets. All right, and as we're filling out this wall, we're of course gonna send it over to our casters to end our beautiful day number 1.
Thank you, Beef Mommy and friends, as they fill out all the artwork here in the studio. We wrap things up with a beautiful bow and remind you that the action continues tomorrow. We will be live at 9 a.m. and we have a whole slate of matches that you do not want to miss. We're starting with that winner's bracket round 1. We'll be starting into the double elimination. At the end of the night, we will be down to the top 3 teams. So wake up bright and early over here in the EU. Set your alarms if you're watching from NA. And a big shout out to everyone who tuned in for day number 1. Final thoughts here. Chris Tunn, what did you learn about COD Mobile on day 1?
Oh, I learned that the good teams are extremely good. There is definitely a level here. We kind of got what we expected. Not too many surprises. I think we're saving them for tomorrow.
Infinity?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll say this much. There have been some surprises. I think, you know, again, when I came into this tournament saying that I think there's going to be some mixy teams, there's going to be some teams that have made some serious improvements. I think we saw that today. I know Exclusive dropped out top 16. They look so good in Hardpoint. I think we've got to take some positives away for the teams that wanted to make those improvements.
Big shout out to everyone who tuned in. If you missed any of the matches, reminder, we are on YouTube. Hit that rewind button, start from the beginning, and watch it all over again. In the meantime, enjoy these highlights. We'll catch you for Saturday.
Like that magic, do ya? Want a little more? That magic, do ya? Pick a number, any number you like. Now forget it, you won't need that tonight. Know my reputation, ain't got it tight. Let me show you this trick I like. Yeah, baby, I'm the best. That's why I ain't taking no less. I'm like the Royals, don't sweat. The haters look little from the little to the left. You always hit the think I'm just blessed. Red souls with that new couture dress. Hey. I'll show you things that you won't believe, no. Yeah. Stand back, baby, here we go. Baby, here we go. another world, one where they let out all the girls. Them boys they we're stripping cause it's winning's hot work. Yeah, little to the right, just so I hit the spotlight. I want everyone to see now. This is how you do the thing right. Yeah. I'll show you things that you won't believe, no. Yeah. Stand back, baby, here we go. Here we go. Use that magic. I'm the queen of all suits, I'm doing fantastic. Said that got us a little loose. I roll up classics. Here's on diamonds, no hoops, I'm doing good. How about you? I guess you heard they call me good luck. Cause with me you'll be on the good stuff. Cause we go harder than the bedrock. Shot like a neighbor when the bed rocks. All you need to know is I'll be back.
like holding up the ocean. I need you to breathe for me. Breathe for me. You take my breath away. So breathe for me. Breathe for me. Breathe for me. You take my breath away. So breathe for me. In and out. In and out. Breathe for me. You take my breath away. I need you to breathe for me. Breathe for me. You take my breath away. So breathe for me. Breathe for me.
The floor. What a rebrake from Exclusive, and there's still 23 seconds to fight.
Big wake-up moment there from Sawo. He's leading his team right now in eliminations. Gets kill number 30. War Machine now out for Tectonic up to kill number 37. There's no trophy system to stop it. Direct impact into Sawo's forehead, and that's 3 now for Tech. Still 10 seconds to fight over here at the bottom of the second set. And Exclusive are holding strong.
You need to understand win condition right now if you're Exclusive. You're at 206 to 171. You win on P2.
Yes, you do.
You just have to hold this side of the map.
They haven't been able to do all map.
Haven't even had time to even look at Temple this part of the map. Nice moment there from Veer. Slows down OUG from stretching across the map. These next wave of gunfights, super important for Exclusive. Nice crossing angle for Neil, who has, guess what? Another Tempest shut down this time. OUG with numbers, trying to work their way across P1 to the other side of the map, but they're shut down, and now you've got the War Machine, Death Machine, all the machines in play for Exclusive to try to put this one out of reach.
Yeah, Death Machine, their top maps, is just going to absolutely rip everybody to smithereens and should be the immediate information that you need. Still, enough time for Exclusive to close things out on P1. One player of Kings spawned all in the backside of the Temple. He's not there alone, but you gotta stop this time from being earned.
Oh no! And they lose spawns for a moment. Exclusive, correct their mistake though. Quickly, get the spawns back. Neil's Tempest gets re-earned off of the early elimination before he could really pull it out, but only finds one with it this time. Sawa from the top ropes, almost able to get a double. 4 seconds remain. OUG holding for now. The setup for Exclusive is trying to call game. Is this victory formation? Can they take a knee on P2 and put this to a map 5?
The first time that they're able to stay here for the rotation. They got so much time on the first set from the front, but look at the spawns being held. Tech, Raph able to find 2. Neil still towards the back. Exclusive still hold the spawns.
Raph is trying to hang on towards front side Temple. Not going to work out. Spy. Oh, shut down by Cartels. War Machine for Veer. You need the last 5 seconds to come through. OUG can only hit from the front. Caesar gets a couple with the Sparrow. Cartels was still kicking for a time, but he cannot stay alive, and Exclusive continue to be flawless at hardpoint.
Oh, Veer stands up. That's a demonic look I saw come out of his eye. There were a lot of white in his eyes right there. 250 to 185 is a statement, completely and utterly nullifying that 45-second fumble from OUG at the beginning of the map. They gave away 45 free seconds to play for spawns, and they didn't even walk away with the majority of time on P2 either. By that point, when you make such a fundamental mistake, and you're still able to keep it as competitive as it was, you really do feel like that OUG was that one big mistake away from potentially closing it out in 4. But that's not going to be the case at all here, Alan. It's going to a map number 5. As we're going through a lot of these replays, there were so many heroic moments from so many different individual players. Operator usage was fantastic as far as the warfare was concerned in between the two teams being able to answer tit for tat. But I gotta say, man, that Tempest being in play constantly was a boon of success for Exclusive.
Absolutely. You know, the other side, now that we've gotten 2 maps between these two teams on Hardpoint, we kind of threw out like that little insinuation that OUG were playing maybe too macro focused on Combine. Again, big map, you could afford to do that largely when it comes to Apocalypse. But where my mind is wanting to pull me to are all of the teams that we've seen across either COD Mobile history or CDL history or Challengers history that play for spawn control, money hill control. Sometimes the team that just gets in the hard point, it can just be mixy. You're like your Bostons who just like jump on the hard point and say, come fight us. We don't care about spawns.
Look, it's a respawn game mode, but like you still have to play around the objective. Go figure to make it as black and white as possible that you can find all the space being provided forward. But when you lose the returning 3 gunfights, just because you have the spawns does not mean that you're going to secure any semblance of majority time. Sawu had himself a fantastic performance. He's been really quiet all day long. 37, dead even. Nobody went positive.
No, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Look at the time.
Yeah.
We said the exact same things when we saw Exclusive play earlier versus on Mythic, where it's just like on Mythic had one player trying to soak time, whereas Exclusive's like, I'm closest to the hard point, I'll get on it.
Solo being a route man, trying to always push over by a broken down chopper.
With Raph.
Maps, yeah, Raph was that guy inside a chicken coop, like I was talking about. Same for Cartels, was playing a lot of different off angles, but it just never felt like we had a guaranteed moment to sit down and play the time.
You know who did that really well last year?
Tell me.
Elevate.
Oh. What happened to them?
They won the World Championship.
Of course.
They swept the World Championship.
They did. What was that Grand Finals versus Q9, though? Hardpoint then wasn't exactly their strong suit.
Yeah. But still, like...
Yeah, but still. It's the entire idea of just like, you know, fundamentally the game mode. You literally spawn into a ranked game and it's just like, oh, Hardpoint. Get to 250 points. You win the map. Like,
correct.
Just, it seems so simplistic, and yet it can be so I don't know what the right phrasing would be, but it just feels like that it's such an easy mistake to make at the highest level for it to get away from you. And now we're going in towards a map 5, a standoff, and I mean, this is where the Wild Wild West truly does come out to play, because there's not a whole lot of tape, I will say that much, for exclusive when it comes down towards this map. But I like Sawu on it. I have seen him, especially on Animus, play on standoff in the previous stage, and if he's able to feel the hot hand coming away from that previous map, Alan, he could get active.
Yeah, this was not a regular playground for OUG and CDM either. They played it a bit in stage 1, but didn't touch it much afterwards. They did beat Wolves on this map in stage 3, but
it's a pretty big deal.
Wolves was, I would say, like, in terms of how Search went throughout CDM, like, as good as Wolves is, that was not the mode that they won CDM on. They won it on their respawns. I mean, Q9 was the Search gods from CDM, so.
You're always such a lovely guy, always having a good time, keeping the vibes and the spirits up. Look, this is not at least in playoffs regionally, that exclusive have played. But it is a map mode combination that has been in the game for ever. So you feel like that this should be playing right into their wheelhouse, right? They love double sniper. And like when Chris was back up here and we were breaking down the best of 5 maps, if this goes to this map 5, with Neil hitting the shots that he's hitting, we also saw some insane quick scopes as well from him in that map number 2, and the 7-2 loss nonetheless. I think that standoff is not going to get as zany as Coastal could possibly be. The rush down that OUG were trying to play, not always going to garner the same success when it comes down to standoff.
Agreed.
Thanks.
It's just wild, though, like, and I know it's early in this tournament, but it does kind of feel, by watching really outside the one map that Elevate dropped here on this A stream, seeing exclusive be perfect in hardpoint so far. Like, people are not playing patiently off of the one taps, the shotguns. They're running. Like, they're running and trying to just beat you by playing through the hill. And that was as simple as it got last year when we watched Elevate. How did they beat teams? They played Hacienda, they ran actual ARs, and they beat people to hills. Exclusive so far has done a nice job of either winning rotation or very quickly being able to contest when they don't have rotation. So
that P2 hold from the front was legendary.
Absolutely legendary. Legend, wait for it. Dairy.
Missed times. Search and Destroy standoff, the final destination here for one of these two teams. Remember, loser of this goes home. OUG, the team that didn't even think they were going to be here until, what, about 5 days ago. Going up against exclusive as the #1 seed from Europe. Felt like they had playoff berth within their grasp. Are fighting for their lives.
See what we get as OUG will be on the offensive half first. Holding off any A hits and trying to play through Brown. Whoa, got a little mixy. Solo's able to win out too. Kings will be traded back. We'll get to the early 3v2. Numbers now in favor convincingly for exclusive as Tech is by himself. Should have a freebie there. And we'll have tons of time to play the 1v2 up from here.
XM4 in play here for Tech, instead of the usual Odin or Type 63, so he has a little bit more like versatility with the weapon, of course, but completely played like a fiddle here. With the map being flipped now, Caesar, Veer, getting closer towards Bakery.
Tech does have the bomb to work with, though. And wow, if he can get Grandma control, this would be massive for him being able to kind of pick and choose what he wants to do, knowing that he's going up against Veer and Caesar.
He has a range deficit, though, especially with Veer being in the play.
But he's got options. So you're telling me there's a chance?
I'm telling you there's a chance. We got options, boys. We got
What was all that 1 in a million talk?
Still so much time left. 45 seconds, and he's going to slow clear Grandma's. But look at the back-to-back that we got going right now.